Let's see. And we're live. Welcome to San Miguel TV. Back again with another one, another live. It's October 21st, Saturday, 2023. And I have three former ICGJC members from the state of Florida right now that I want to start introducing. I guess from top to bottom, top right, we'll go clockwise. Kadash Rakah, man, what's good? If you could just, what does Kadash Rakah mean, man? What does that mean?
Well, yeah, that would be that's called New Spirit, Kadash Vikar. Anything else?
What year did you come into this?
I don't remember what year I came into it, but I can definitely tell you I've been in there for like three strong good years.
Okay. The Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ, man. That's where we all was in. The ICGJC is the acronym, the leader, Tazadakia, the comforter, so-called comforter. So we're going to talk about all of that next. Anthony, what's good, my brother? How you doing?
What's going on, my brother?
All right, man.
Yeah.
So what was your name in the cult?
I was formerly known as Yakal, which means overcome.
And what year did you come in there?
I was brought in by my cousin in the year of the beginning of 2010.
Who's your cousin?
He's currently still a member. His name is Shalaman. I believe he's a chief priest.
Right, Shalamah. Yeah, I was one of his teachers in the Hebrew Academy when he was coming up. He was always a good student. But I'm surprised to see that he's still in there because he was definitely one of the smart ones.
Yeah, man. Unfortunately,
All right, we're gonna get into that a little bit more because he just went live recently on Vocab Malone's channel. I'm just trying to go around the table here. So next is Rapaya Allah. Rap, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm cool. I'm cool. Glad to see a couple brothers. I remember you, Kadash, and definitely you. I don't know if they call you a Martha Makapash back in the day.
A war Makapash. Yeah,
War
I don't mind it.
My bad. I didn't mean to call you by the other cat, man, because you wasn't funny with the money, bro. You wasn't funny with the money. My bad.
Yeah, no, I don't mind it. I actually named my son Uriel, though. That's supposed to be the Greek version of the name Award, which is the name I chose, which supposedly means light. You see that it sounds a little bit similar, but I don't know. I don't go by that language. I think I still have the Hebrew booklet somewhere. But I definitely remember you, Rapayal. You was there when I was in there. Anthony, I think, yeah. What was you gonna say?
No, I remember, man. We did some good days in Orlando. With the I can't remember. Bless his soul. Remember the cat that was the I think he was the former high priest of states. What's his name? Was it
Tahawam?
Tahawam? Yeah.
Well, what year did you come in?
I think I came in like 05.
Yeah.
05.
Yeah.
Up there, man.
That sounds right.
That was a good brother right there, man. Good brother.
Tahawam always comes up. Always comes up.
Yeah.
I like them. Yeah. I can't say that for everybody that was over this Miami or over Florida or over Orlando. I don't mind like talking to anybody, any one of these guys. I wish I would have got to talk to Tahawam again because he was living a pretty good life, it seemed. After he left, he was married. He was out of that place. His wife was one of the best sisters that was ever in that place that I ever come across. Like, she was great. So I knew he was like, because he would always say, I'm a eunuch or something like that. And what a eunuch is somebody that just doesn't, they don't get married pretty much, right? Or they could be pierced in the stones or something like that, it says. And then you're a natural eunuch. I think he meant it like that. Like, I think he was literally like, I don't need no woman, like he was always awesome. Like, he was like tough, man. And it was funny though, because he was just naturally funny, man. I used to love driving him home and shit. Like, he'd be so quiet, but then you could tell he'd be a little awkward and he'll ask me a question. So were you from New York? And because there was a time, man, where Kazadakia, who was the leader of this place, when you came in 05, he was already the comforter now. I came in 04, and I remember the DVDs that was out that year. it was like Breakdowns was, just came out. So you were there during that time, Rapayala, right? You remember Breakdowns?
Yeah,
That DVD got taken out of rotation, didn't it?
Yeah, a lot of DVDs, from what I understand, came out of rotation because contradictions started popping up.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, them DVDs started to disappear. You know what I'm saying? Then it went to the newer ones, and then, I remember before I was out of there, the edict came down that you had to actually teach from the DVD itself. You know what I'm saying? So they were able to keep a stranglehold on everybody in the place because, they were able to brush other stuff out and, usher in the new, whatever you want to call it, doctrine, dogma, or whatever.
You could tell that Hawam was kind of struggling with that transition too, because he's from the old school. So they were teaching that Jesus Christ is the reincarnation of Solomon. They were teaching Jesus Christ was not born of or that was born from natural just sex, pretty much. Which, whatever, some people teach that, some people believe that. I don't know. I think that's one of the things when Tazadake changed that. It was like now he's making a difference between this group in the same community because there's so many other groups. How do you differentiate who we are? He set up the whole dress code, right? The garments, the ranking garments. And he changed the doctrine completely to where now you see there's no, even till this day, I don't think there's one Hebrew Israelite group in the whole community that teaches that Jesus Christ was born of a holy, they called it the Holy Conception. Remember that? That's right. That's the website. The website's still up. The Holy Conception Unit.
The holyconception.com, yeah.
Yep. It's the holyconceptionunit.org. I remember when it came out.
Something like that, yeah.
Isaiah Nathan had like articles in there too. Yeah. So y'all know Isaiah Nathan, right? All of y'all?
Yeah.
What city are you,
my brother.
You guys, if y'all want to say, what city were you guys in?
Miami.
We all from Miami.
South Florida. Okay. Yeah.
South Florida
and Orlando were the top two cities. Well, Miami and Orlando. South Florida, though, as combined with West Palm, Fort Lauderdale, even Fort Myers, y'all were huge, man.
Yeah, in the year 2010 when I came in, I literally seen the beginning of Miami turning into Miami, When I started seeing brothers coming from Fort Myers and Naples, and then we used to be in this one small little cubicle. That's what it was. It was just a small little cubicle
hot box.
Hot box. And I remember they had the church like down the street just sitting there rotting. And I'm like, man, what the hell? We pay all these tithes and money. I'm like, damn, I've been sitting here for almost 2-3 years in this fucking cubicle. And we have a perfectly like brand new church right down the street.
Yo, because I was close by the church, because I lived the closest. Chief Priest Kashawanya, I don't want to mess his name up.
Kashawanya.
Yeah, Chief Priest Kashawanya had me to go and just check the door, just make sure they ain't scrape the sign or do anything to the door, break the glass, something like that. That was part of my little duty, you know what I mean? So, and I was always wondering what it looked like on the inside, but I'd heard that there was brothers there before me that's been in there, when they first started building in that place.
I actually had the privilege of being one of the only few brothers to go in there, because I was brought there by what's the brother Yashar, Chief Priest Yashar, I think it was, from Orlando.
Yeah.
And he called me up to Orlando Church to take a look at their air conditioners as well. So we went there to go check the AC, and I was able to go in there. And once I walked in, it smelled like straight mold. It's been sitting there for I don't know how long without no AC. All the work them brothers did that flew down from New York to I guess decorate and bless the temple or something like that.
Yeah.
And all the pictures on the wall were just falling apart, crumbling apart from the heat and the humidification, the humidity, excuse me, that was accumulating in the place.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
I got the privilege of going in there too. And I was actually, I think, the unveiling of the place, but it wasn't ready. It was just like, it was a way of Tazadaki, I think, as the cult leader of this place, just trying to give us some type of, confirmation, or look, something's happening. Something's happening here. But you guys never got to use it?
Well, not from the time that I was there. I never even we never even set foot in there. It happened after I left. It was
Yeah.
post 2015, maybe 2015, 16 is when they actually started going to that church.
I'm gonna be
And
honest with you.
these brothers been in here, Rapayala, man, he was there since 2005. He'd never seen the new church inside of it, should I say.
I heard I had to get purged first.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I still go by there, and now for some reason I don't even see them on Saturday. Or how they used to be. Before they had the NIS outside the door, garden door. You don't even see that no more. You don't see
Oh
nobody.
yeah, well, the reason why is because they're not even going to church. They're doing online church. And I know because I have somebody that's still in the church that lives with me. So I get to hear them every Friday and Saturday.
Okay, so that means they couldn't afford.
I can hear it. I can record it. I can, you know what I mean? I can do whatever I want, but I don't, because they swear up and down that that now that we're out of the church, that's all we think about.
You don't even care. You're not even listening.
I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't care. But if you are, what pissed me off the last time, I wasn't even trying to look for it. I just came across it. And I'm like, what the hell? I said, that's my cousin. And then I'm hearing all these damn just blabber out of these guys' mouths, just complete repulsive lyingness coming out of them. And it just is sad, man. It's sad. All I can do is laugh. But if they want to lie, I mean, lie better than that, man. Damn. We all bear witness. We've been there, bro. We saw the fucking fuck shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't imagine things. I know what I saw and what I've seen.
It was January 10th, I believe January 10th, 2010. It was the earthquake hit Haiti, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Or was it January 12th? January 12th. I remember that.
I don't know exactly the day, but I remember the hurricane relief. That's when Mr. Tazadaki came to the church, I believe.
The earthquake relief, right? Yeah, because there's also
he had a video and all on the website, like he was in Haiti or something.
He was in Little Haiti.
Yeah, he was in Little Haiti.
I'm trying to think of that brother.
It was a little video. Remember, it was a little video that he did on the Comforter.
That's when I drove down. I drove down to Miami, right? When that happened, because now I remember January 10th, something else happened, to where I got fired, man. Like I got fired on January 10th from my job. I remember. 2 days later, the earthquake hit, and Zaraya Sha'ala from Orlando, a Haitian brother, called me up and asked me if I could take him to Miami. I said, let's go. And he was like, I didn't even tell you what I needed. I was like, let's go. And then when we got down there, I think on our way down there, we're being told like Tazadaki is out there and the new church is going to be unveiled. And Zarai went out there to get a passport, because in Miami, you could get your passport like the same day, I think, when you go to the office out there. So he needed to get out to Haiti. He couldn't get in contact with his family. Tazadaki was talking like, we come up in this church, the same place. He's saying, I remember it was in this plaza, and it was like the corner spot, and it needed so much renovations that I knew over the years, I'm like, this guy don't want to put no money into this place right now, because it's going to require probably tens of thousands of dollars probably. With the AC, you're saying there was mold. What starts to happen when you start to get mold? That could affect your infrastructure, right?
Yeah, I mean, it becomes basically a hazard. You know what I mean? A breathing hazard.
People, yeah.
And they're trying to pack this small little place with a whole bunch of people. So, that's the last thing you want. You know, but I don't know, man. These people, I mean, and when I don't even know where they got this AC unit from. The unit was sitting on the roof, just bare roof. You know, I mean, it was crazy, and it wasn't even brand new. It was like used, and this shit was all fucked up. I mean, once we turned it on, that shit sparks started flying. It was like 4th of July up there, man.
Right. Here's a brother,
and then it just sat there. It just sat there for years, man. I mean, Rapayala. I mean, what the hurricane was like? What, 2008, 2009?
Oh yeah, the hurricane was more like 2008, and so you weren't even in there yet.
No, I wasn't even in. My cousin was, and he showed me these clips
before your cousin came in, because I remember driving down there. This is another time.
I used to come from Orlando
with generators
out down here with the generator. Listen, I ain't even gonna lie. That was like I think that was one of the dopest times that showed a little bit of solidarity and unity, and I ain't gonna lie. That right there, even though it was in the midst of some chaos.
Yeah,
I have a childhood friend, Anthony. His name's Anthony, and I grew up with him since New York City. Man, we went to middle school together. He moved to Orlando, and you know, I moved out here to Orlando, and I got into the cult, and he kind of was listening, and he ended up joining. I forget what his Hebrew name was, but Dahawam knew him and all of that. So when the hurricane hit, see, that's what I'm thinking. It must have been 05, 06. This must have been a different hurricane, because your cousin wasn't even in there yet, Anthony.
Early in the game.
And so me, a few brothers, Lakadal, I remember, we went to Home Depots, we went to Lowe's, we went wherever we could to get a generator so we could drive down to Miami, and they gave us the money for that. You know, we didn't have to come out of pocket, which at least they did that. I'll be honest. You know, I'm not.
Excuse me. I think you're right. I don't think it was the hurricane. I believe it was the earthquake. The earthquake of Haiti.
The earthquake was 2010, and here's a brother named Bruce. We just got a new. See, now we got 4 brothers from South Florida. What's going on, Bruce? How you doing? Can you hear me?
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Man. How you doing, man? Everything good?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Doing all right. How about y'all? How's everybody doing?
So good. So far, so good.
How's your caravan, brother?
What's your Hebrew name, Bruce?
Ayah Shalom.
Peaceful man?
Yeah, peaceful man. Man of peace, yeah.
Man of peace. There you go.
Absolutely. Yeah, trust me, they definitely, you know, took advantage of that in a way, you know what I mean?
Well, we're over here just taking a trip down memory lane and stuff. Some of these good brothers over here.
Okay. No doubt.
Yeah, I remember when you came in. What year did you come in? Was it 08?
I came in
07?
I believe about like 05. I was in there prior to I was in there while those older brothers was there. Kanapia Allah, and that's back when they was on 7th Avenue before the Bishop what the brother name of Ra'ashawan. Before Ra'ashawan came down, there was a few other brothers there who actually got kicked out.
Right.
So it's probably maybe about 04 or 05, something like that. Yeah.
Gotcha. I remember hearing from Shemaiah one, I believe was a brother from Miami. He said that he was in there when they had sent them out to like Houston or something one time. And this is when like there was like a split going on where it was a brother named I believe his name was Barack out there in like 03. And he ended up splitting from Isaiah Nathan from the ICGJC pretty much. And Isaiah Nathan called what's his name? Shemaiah one calls up Isaiah Nathan, according to Shemaiah one, and Isaiah Nathan says, "Brother, what the hell's wrong with you?" He's like, what the hell are you doing in Houston? He's like, "We didn't go to Houston. You're part of a rebel camp." And
I think I did hear about that. I did hear about that story.
That was going on in Miami in like 03, maybe 2001.
I heard about that, yeah.
Right. I had a good conversation with him during that time when the hurricane hit. Miami had it was all flooded. Nobody had power. The lines at the gas station were around the block. And we ended up. I remember we came down there. It had to be like 06. The one was still over like the state, but Rosh one was in Miami.
Excuse me, what hurricane you referring to? Wilma?
I don't remember.
I
Could be
remember.
Wilma.
I believe that was Wilma. Yeah.
Wilma, yeah, Wilma was because we was out of power for a long time with Wilma.
Right.
Yeah, we stayed the night over there.
gotta be
I
one more.
slept in my boy's car. Me and him, we slept in the car because there was already a bunch of people all in one house.
Yeah.
And Rosh one was over like Miami at that point or something like that.
Right. Yeah, Rosh one was over Miami at that time.
I think that I don't even know if that one was out here yet. Because he definitely wasn't in Miami, but Rosh one was already like sent down to Miami, I think. And we watched a DVD. We watched a movie called Animal on DVD, if you ever seen that with Ving Rhames.
Yeah, Ben Ray, yeah.
Because we had the generator connected to the TV. We was powering the whole house, like everything. Those were the good times, man. Like those were the times that I was like, I felt like I was doing something. And it was like that serves as like confirmation for you to feel like, something is happening here and I'm part of something good, as opposed to being like in the streets, up to no good. I saw that like as a way of doing something with my life. As a young kid, I had nothing else going for me. I don't know. How did y'all feel like when this came in? What was like some of the things that really grabbed you about this, like listening to them, whatever they're teaching you? Like what was like, if y'all could all speak on that, just what was like the thing that really grabbed you about this place? Why did you even come in there in the first
We go
place?
clockwise. Kadash, go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's the way the scriptures was broken down, you know what I mean? At the time, because I didn't know the Bible like that, So, for me to ask certain questions and brothers to come out like this and answer the question and it was able to show me the scripture, that's what suckered me in.
Right.
And as far as me, I was actually speaking up against the truth. You know what I mean? I was making fun of my cousin. I was calling him, Muslim. Oh, you too good to eat pork now. Smoking weed in front of him. You know what I mean? And I was mainly just being an asshole. You know what I mean? More than anything. But I didn't take this shit serious. I was like, man, my cousin, I know my cousin, man. I was literally born and raised with this cat. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be, a phase. He's going to be in it for whatever. And it's going to slowly fade out. But unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And I think I got in trouble in 2009. And I did, a month time in county jail, and it woke me up. And I was like, man, if I keep doing what the fuck I'm doing, I just got off. I said, I got to do something different. And then I went begging to go into the church, like, yo, cuz, you know what I'm saying? I'll take up your offer to go this Saturday. And I went. And ever since, been there, like the first day I went, my cousin couldn't just stop asking me, are you going next week? Going next week? And, slowly but surely, I got fed and, I bit on.
So
And you know what, me?
It took some pulling of teeth for you. For Kadash, how long did it take you? I wanted to ask you that too. My bad. How long did it take you to like come in? Did you have to be persuaded, Kadash?
Yeah, it was about this brother named Lob Wanaposh at the time. He was working at my job at Target, where he just was riling everybody up. Once they figure out that that he was a Hebrew Israelite, he had everybody yelling at him like, who this guy think that he is, saying this and saying that and saying that Jesus only came for this person. So, I secretly, while I was cutting up boxes and stuff like that in the aisles and stuff, secretly asked him like little questions here, little questions there, you know what I mean? So I was being like a little Nicodemus.
So yeah, just to get back to what we're doing, I'll get back to you for sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ayala, when did what was it that got you, man? Did you have to be persuaded or were you gung ho?
Oh man, yo, and one of the first brothers I met there was actually Ayah Shalom. I happened to come upon a flyer. I can't remember where I came upon the flyer, but it had the address to the school that was there on 441, and I actually met him in the parking lot, and You know, I laugh about it now because he knew my dirty secret, man. I used to sit in the back of the class, high as a bird, you know? I used to be high as a bird, man, in class. And, you know, I listened a couple of times, and actually the funny thing is it helped me make sense out of like the chaotic life I was living at the time. Because I was out there, you know, I was making money, you know, partying, chilling, going out, you know, blazing. And it got me to actually calm down off of all of that. So I can say one of the good things is that it helped me to chill, you know, and that for me, whatever could get me to chill was worth going back and listening to. So that's kind of how it hooked me. And then I started catching little things here and there, and you know, just being able to go out in the community. That's kind of what hooked me. You know, and at the time it wasn't a business. You know, that's one of the things you know, I don't want to grab the mic so long, but when we first started down here in Miami, you know, everybody was on their own garments, everybody was on their own thing. It wasn't like no pressure, you know. So if we wanted to go out and do whatever, we did. If you wanted to go in, you know, at the time what they call it street speaking or whatever it was that we did, we went out and did it. There was no pressure. It wasn't no you on a schedule. It wasn't no you got to throw in money. You got to pay for garments. You got to. We made our own shit. So you know, that to me, the fact that we did that and we all rolled together, it was dope back then.
I guess that's relevant too to ask. That's why, like, knowing what year y'all came in is a little relevant, at least for me, because I know the history. I know when I came in 04, it wasn't a lot of ranks like that, you know, where the ranking structure could kind of ruin your, you know, your friendship pretty much. And it wasn't all that. People wasn't all. It was more like we just got together. We handed out flyers, and then at the end of the day, at night, we get some beers. We all chill, and maybe we get a pot of spaghetti or something, you know, with ground beef. and a brother would cook that, you know, Shamaka Cud and Yash and Shiora Cud used to do that. And that's just when I came in, that's how it was. But then it became, like you said, more of like a business for Payala. That was great. I'm reminiscing, and we're about to freestyle in a minute, but I want to definitely get to Bruce, man. Bruce, let's hear about like you know, came in, what really got you in, what year was it, and all of that.
All right, yeah. Well, you know what really got me in was you see, back in the days, I used to, you know, I used to be on the block. I used to hustle. You know what I mean? And there was a one brother. He actually was a what they used to call an Old Testament Israelite, which was a good friend of ours, like from the block. And he came back down from New York one day, and we was outside doing what we was not supposed to be doing. And he came upon us, and he was telling us about, you know, Christ being black and all this, that, and the third. And when I first heard that Christ was black, that kind of, you know, caught my attention, and I started paying attention to what he was talking about. And to tell you the truth, like from that moment is the first time that I ever even considered the Bible, period. Because coming up, I wasn't a fan of the Holy Bible because I used to think Christ was white, and I used to think that book was a book made by the white man to control our people. You know what I mean? And I wasn't really too much of a fan. But when the way he broke down the scriptures, especially Christ being black, it made me look at things just a little bit different. Right. And then, you know, I actually started going to the classes, but it wasn't an Old Testament Israelite class. It was another brother, the older brother of one of the brothers that I used to hang out with, which I didn't even know was a Hebrew Israelite, but he was what they call a JC Israelite. And all this time I never knew. And everything just started to come at me all at one time. Once this one brother started talking about Christ is black, it's like from everywhere I'm getting Israelite. So I kind of, you know, started going to the classes, and then, you know, I really started taking it serious because I really believed that this was the truth about our history. You know what I mean? That this is who we are. You know what I'm saying? And back then, there was no Hebrew Academy. The Hebrew Academy was only in New York. You know what I mean?
Well,
so in the beginning,
when you came into the Hebrew Academy, though, I think I already graduated, and you probably were like persuaded. Like it took some time to persuade you or something. at
when
least to
they
come into
first,
the academy, like what year did you come into the academy?
well, I missed the first year, but
Yeah, no,
the second year that the academy was there is when I started going. But
that's
I had missed that very first year. So
so
we started. I started going to that second year.
you have more
Uh,
history in there than I originally thought. You know.
because I was there at first. I was there. This is before, because I don't know
For
if you
me,
know Kanapia Alam.
yeah, I know Kanafia. Wasn't he in Baltimore or something or
He was in
Philly?
Baltimore. But guess what? He used to be in Miami. So when I
Oh,
first came in, the truth is when he was in Miami, it was him and another brother. I can't remember his name. A light skinned brother with a beard, big thick beard. I forget his name, but this is before Ra'ashawan was there. But at that time, I was still hustling, and then I kind of got exposed after a while, and they kind of kicked me out. And then a couple of years later is when I come back, and when I came back, it was like a different structure. New leadership was there. Ra'ashwan was there, and there was like other things going on. But the academy wasn't even down in Miami yet. And like Rapayala said, uh, in the beginning when I used to be there, it was more brotherly. You know what I mean? The brothers worked more as a family. You know what I'm saying? You go there, you get the knowledge from the Bible, and we build. And it was more about the scriptures and more about the family, the brotherhood. But then once the academy came down and everybody started getting rank, things just really took a bad turn, if you ask me. You know what I mean? And once that Hebrew Academy structure came in, that's what really made it. And everybody wanted it too, because we used to look at it from New York like, okay, we want the academy down here. Because the way we looked at it from down here was, wow, it looks real organized and it was dope. But once it came down here, it was all right in the beginning. But now brothers don't hit you up no more just to say shalom. Brothers hitting you up about funds, or brothers hitting you up about some kind of business.
but that
You know
stressed
what I
people
mean?
Yeah.
out, I think too. Like we was getting more stressed out because now, like we didn't have to worry about teaching classes when we didn't have the rank high enough to teach a class, which was captain of 13,000. You had to have that minimum rank in order to teach a class. So you would have to put this class together according to a DVD you saw, though, or a class that was taught by Tazadaki. And now that's taking up time. Having to, be a teacher in the Hebrew Academy, coming to the Hebrew Academy from Miami, because it originally started in Miami in 04, in 05, I mean. The first year was 05. So you must have came in to the Hebrew Academy the following year, if that's if I remember correctly. Then they had already switched it up and had it in Orlando. For whatever reason, they just felt it was better. But I remember having to drive down to Miami. This was on a weekly basis.
Mm-hmm.
So that means from
Mhm.
Friday night, even really Thursday night, you're in Thursday night class, then you're in Friday night class, and you have to do this after work, and you might have to go to school at the same time,
Yeah.
or vice versa, school besides work. And then waking up early on Saturday to go to the Sabbath early. Might have a bunch of kids you got to get ready, your wife or wives, because this place
Mm.
practices polygamy. To each his
Right.
own. If the sisters are okay with that, if that's
I'm
what
all right for it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, but if
I'm
it's
team
like
poly all day.
it's like, yo, you know how many sisters did not like that?
Yeah.
I was poly gaming all day too, brother. Forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of sisters didn't. A lot of sisters probably agree with it on the outside, but on the inside, some of them probably wasn't really with it. You know what I mean?
I was
When I first heard that, I was like, what? No doubt.
I remember that that was part of the doctrine, and I remember them telling us specifically, if you're teaching a sister, leave that part out of it.
Yeah,
Leave that part out of it, so when she comes in, she is accepted later on.
that's
And
called
I used to think that
deceptive.
was like a little mind game,
It's called
like
deceptive recruiting. Is what
deceptive. Yeah, exactly.
it's literally a thing. It's called deceptive recruiting. They did the same thing with what's that one dude in Waco? David Koresh. He was doing the same thing. They would
Oh
do it.
yeah,
He was taking brothers' wives.
that was in Texas, right? Waco or something.
Yeah, Waco,
Waco.
Texas.
Right. Yeah, but one thing that Rashawan used to always say, you know what I mean? If you got multiple wives, you know what I'm saying? You might as well just let them know, because in the end of the day, you're not being a man if you're hiding it like that. You know what I mean? Just be a
Right.
man and just keep it real. You know what I mean? Because in the end of the day, first of all, they're gonna find out anyway, and number two, that's being wicked. You know what I'm saying? To really just
Yeah.
hide it like that. You know, and just be a man. That's it.
But we were told that we don't have. Yashar specifically said it a few times that we don't have to tell our wives anything about having another wife. So why would you have to hide it if there's nothing wrong with it? You know, because sisters had a problem with it. From what I remember.
I remember if at one point in time, this is right before I left, these motherfuckers try to make money on everything. So, you know, if you court a sister and you already have a wife or whatever, both of you guys have to go together. And I think supposedly, you know, the Gospel Comforter or one of the holy apostles will ask, you know, how is he doing as a man? Is he able to take care of his household? And some sisters boldly straight up say this nigga bum, bro, and you know, and they'll try to get their husband out of that courtship or potential courtship, you know.
Right.
But if they do decide to marry, I believe they had to have like $1,000 down for the wedding or some shit.
Yeah.
So crazy ass shit, man.
See, I wasn't there. I was put out in 2011, right before what you call it, 2012, like literally right before 2012. So I wasn't there when the doll came out. I wasn't there when all these things just started falling. This whole place just fell apart, and it was just one unfortunate event after another that led to. I mean, we could go all the way to 2023 where we're at now, but I definitely want to go back and talk about some more of this older stuff because people need to realize that are in there now what was really happening behind the scenes in the past. People that come in today, they have no clue how everything got set up. You know, some of the brothers, so for everybody that's on the live and that's going to watch this later on, some of the brothers that are in here right now are responsible for being the foundation for Miami and Orlando, speaking for myself. And so that's why these brothers' testimony is very important. And I'm glad everybody that's on here. What's up, Ephraim? I wanted to give a shout out because you mentioned Cashapp from Baltimore. There's a brother on here named Ayash Ahmadba. Man,
Ayash Ahmadba.
He's old school, man.
He's old school.
He's like 3 decades in this place.
Yeah, he was there for the whole split and everything.
Everything, man. Like he is old school,
Man,
and
that's crazy.
that goes to show you that this place is not the brothers that are letting this place down. The cult was letting us down, and that's why we left. It wasn't like Basil went on Vocab Malone's channel, right? Vocab Malone is a Christian apologist that he interviews everybody, man, and he gave a stage to ICGJC, and they actually accepted, which I was surprised, but obviously I already knew these cats were not going to be willing to talk about all the stuff like we're talking about right now. And we're being honest. Some of the things that we're saying, we're being like literally honest about something that was good. Like we're talking about the generators. Like this is good things, but behind all that, you could do 2 good things and do 1 bad thing. And it's like if that
evil.
And if that bad thing is deception, like I feel like we were all being deceived and used. Like the brother said, like this was a straight up business. After a while, I started to realize that. If y'all could go into that, like what was some of the signs, like red flags, the things that bothered you while you were in there? You know, we could go counterclockwise. Start with I don't have what is it? Kadash. We start with Kadash, and then go counterclockwise. Because
if I had to really think about it, it's dealing with the ranking structure. It's knowing that a brother did something wrong. And when you went before whoever to complain about it, and they know that they're dead wrong, and you just had to sit there and take it, and you had to constantly go through that a lot. You remember that time you called that we went through something with what's his name, Shemaiwan?
Oh,
that cricket.
Everybody got a story with Shemaiwan.
He's still apparently still in there. So I mean, this cat. That cat is wicked, man. That cat is a wicked dude, man. That's all I gotta say. I'm not even gonna go into that cat.
Nah, we ain't gonna even go in details with that. You know what I mean? It's yeah, but mostly the ranking structure. Now I'll hold back. I'll hold back the best for last when I got kicked. I mean, when I got kicked out. But that was like one of the red flags right there, just from the brother structure itself. Like what was going on, some of the things that they was doing that was wrong. They was pulling rank on you a lot.
People getting away with certain things, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. For sure. That's one.
Yeah. You know, definitely, you know, the Hebrew Academy, if you ask me, was really the beginning of the downfall, because when it came to brothers having rank, and then they would give brothers who really didn't deserve the rank to have the rank. You know what I mean? Like brothers that were kind of like not ready, not mature enough to have a certain position, they would have certain position, and you couldn't, not even really, you couldn't say nothing. So if you realized that they were doing something off, you couldn't say anything, and if you said anything, then you were deemed to be the wicked one. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
he would speak against you, and you know what I mean. And then definitely, you know, there was a lot of things when it came to funds, like high holy days, and for some they were making up days sometimes, kid, and you was putting money in for things that had nothing to really do with, you know what I mean, righteousness or I don't know. It was just real funny the way
Archangels,
the money
everything.
came. Yeah.
Righteous day.
Archangel Awards, yeah. And then, you know, the rules was real strict. And brothers, when they would call you, man, brothers not even calling you to say shalom no more. Ain't no more what's up, how you doing? Them brothers calling you like shalom. You got the money? When are you gonna have it? What do you mean you don't have
Yeah.
it?
How you
What do
gonna
you
get it,
mean?
brother?
Yeah, those conversations right there was just, come on now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so things really started getting crazy back then. And I remember it before all of that. You know what I mean? When brothers used to get together and do street speaking, you know, we used to go to the Sabbath classes, and we used to go to the church, and we used to tell you the truth, those were some of the best times in my life back in those days. Because man, I have a lot of good moments and a lot of good days to speak about. Raphael knows, man. Me and Raphael, kid, we used to be. There was times, man, kid, we used to be dying laughing, rolling. Like I was choking laughing on certain nights, having a real good time. But you know, things really got serious after a while, though. You know. So I really forgot what the question was. If you don't mind bringing it back again, but uh, what are we talking about again? 'Cause I
It
feel
was
like I'm
about
just
the red
going off
flags.
now.
Your first red
Oh,
flags.
the red
The
flags. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, the red flags was definitely the funds. Like I don't want to, you know, I can go to the day when I left too. You know, it was about funds. You know what I mean? The brother Yashar, at the time, he was a General Yashar. You know what I mean? That brother really, he put me out there in front of the whole camp on a Sabbath at that. You know what I mean? About picnic funds or something like that. I told the brother, you know, I didn't get paid until the following weekend. Man, that brother went off on me like I was his son or something. You know what I mean? And
But but
that brother told me to go collect. He told me to go collect cans, kid.
Oh
You go collect
no.
cans to get the money. I'm like, nah, I work. I got bills. I work, kid. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, son, I don't have it right now. I'm gonna have it next weekend though, but I don't have it. And then he was talking to me like I was being wicked for not having it. And my brother told me to go pick up cans and collect the funds that way. I said, I'm not doing that. But yo, from that day, I just never came back. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you know, because the type of person that I was, you know what I mean? Like I don't like to glorify a hood type of nigga, but I wasn't somebody to where I just let people walk over me or talk to me in any way. But when he was talking to me like a Negro from the street, you know what I
yeah.
mean? And when I started to connect the two and two together, I said, nah, Christ cannot be with this here. You know what I mean? This cannot be supported by the Most High, and it's actually being supported like that. And so from there, can no lie, I just never came back without warning or anything, you
Yeah.
know. And they made sure to tell everybody in the camp too. If you see that brother in the street, don't
Don't
say
talk to them.
nothing to him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't call him. Don't talk to him. But you know, Raphael, see that's my brother right there. He the one. That brother right there never let me go or try me like that. You know what I mean? So me and him always been in communication forever since then. So I'm like, rap, that's my boy right there. You know what I mean? This brother right here, that's my real brother right there. But them other guys, they see you in the street and they look at you like you're a total stranger, man.
That's crazy.
So,
That's crazy as hell right there. That's some schizophrenic type stuff or something. Like brother, you knew me last week. We were chilling, and now all of a sudden it's like you don't even know. That was one of the craziest things. When I really started speaking out, when I got the bravery to speak out, that's when I started seeing like, wow, this whole thing was bullshit. These cats ain't my friends. But I met some of the best people I've ever met in my life in there. I'm still friends with the Rock Bun. He's great, man. Yeah, that was a good.
What's up with that brother right there?
24, right?
Say it again.
He was the one that memorized the whole Matthew 24 and did it, didn't he?
Yes.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
That dude is
the Rock Bun was a smart brother too. That brother right there.
He's a smart, and he's one, bro. I used to think he was an angel. Nobody knew where he lived, bro. He would just disappear. I'm like, this brother's an angel. We got an angel up in here in Orlando. I thought, bro, that dude is such a good person like that, you know. But then there were people like, well, you said picking up can. I was a brother. I'm a one is a brother. His younger brother, my iPhone, was in there too. These two brothers that were in there. Haitian.
Man.
He was told
that was his little brother. Yeah,
that dude has like a degree. He graduated from college and everything. For some reason, he was working at Dunkin' Donuts, and he had no car, living with his parents. I had to pick him up and take him to class. And then one time, he's getting cut by Yashar, and Yashar tells him, "Brother, you could sell water at the exits of the what do you call it, the highway. Wait at the light at the highway at the exit." And go sell water for $1. You could buy a 24 pack for $3, and you sell each one for $1. You got $24. That, like, I mean, it's not a bad flip, but come on, man, who's making money selling, bottles at just any random spot out here in Orlando? It's like things like that. When this brother could have been like a paralegal or something, I think like his degree was crazy like that, and they kind of like tear into your spirit too a little bit. Like, I think that's the reason why some people leave, but staying on the same topic with Payala, what was it that made you like want to leave? Was it like collectively over time, like, or was there like, this is a final straw? Like, how did it happen?
I'll give you my final straw moment last, but I just wanted to touch the financials first, because financials was so ridiculous. Like, it got to the point where I remember when they brought up the concept of the national debt, man, I was like, yo, what kind of damn holy this? I mean, I remember
the national debt. Man, you just struck a nerve. Damn, I remember that shit.
Listen, when these things come up in my memory, man, like bro, like the anger just creep up my spine. But I remember like, some of the stuff like that led to my last straw moments was, it was no secret to everybody around me that I was a single father to 5 kids. I had to handle all my 5 babies by myself. And they ranged from barely walking to being in a car seat. And, these cats was on some, picnic funds, priest funds, high holy day funds, have no funds, whatever it was. And whatever you couldn't pay for, they still put it on your national debt. You telling you you're required to pay, was it $40, $60 as a ranking man, and then
I remember that.
You got to find money to pay for your children to attend, because again, for me, being a single father in there, I can't just leave my kids somewhere and be at a picnic. So a lot of those things were red flagging me, leading me on my way out the door. And the fact that these cats, again, and it just touches on all the little things that everybody was saying, that, you had people that had no life experience, young, no kids, no, and have no experience in the world trying to govern you, manage a family and manage finances, trying to tell me, what to do and how to manage myself, just got to the point where, like I said, they added on stuff to my national debt. They didn't give a damn that I was struggling to pay for Pampers and all of that, threatening me with counsel. So one day I said, you know what, I don't give a damn if you tell the apostles and what they call it, they're gonna
Counsel.
Yeah.
Counsel. And I said, at that time, I said, I didn't give a damn. My last straw was them telling me I still had to teach Hebrew Academy up in that building that didn't have no air conditioning. I got my 5 kids in baby seats in the damn hallway while I'm in the classroom teaching. They ain't give a damn. It's hot as shit out there with my kids, man. After a while, I was like, man, fuck them. I got the phone calls afterwards, Rapala, you gotta be strong, this and that, trying to guilt trip me, man. Man, go fuck yourself, man. And that's when I was done with them cats, man. You know what, man, fuck you and your curtains that you rock. And that's where they took me, man, to where I was just disrespectful.
Shit. I don't blame you, man, because another thing is that people get sent up to counsel, which means now you got to fly up to New York, get a round trip flight on your dime.
On your time, yeah.
On your time and your dime.
And your dime, yeah.
Yeah, and you gotta listen, I went up there for counsel one time and I was like, I can't even get a hotel because I gotta fly the next day, and I don't know what time my counsel is gonna be. My counsel was at 7 a.m. and I was there from 9 p.m. And I couldn't leave anywhere if I was hungry or whatever, because I didn't know when I was going to be pushed up and bumped up in the line. But I went up there because I already had a flight to New York, and I said, let me kill these 2 birds with 1 stone. There's brothers that can't get up to New York and they need counsel for money, and they ask you to pay for a round trip flight, which costs
to go get a yes or no.
You don't know if you're gonna get denied.
Exactly. That shit was crazy.
You broke it. You gotta find airfare. I mean, that shit make no sense, man. And that's what I said, man. That's
if I ain't got no money, how the hell can I afford a fucking plane ticket to New York?
There you go. But you so-called.
And who's gonna take care of my kids? I gotta pay somebody to fucking watch my kids.
Wait,
I'm gonna miss 2 days of fucking work. You know what I'm saying? And they still gonna be asking for the priest fund. Brother, don't tempt the Lord, brother. Know what I mean? Did you pray? Did you pray on it? Like,
if
what the fuck?
If you had to make a choice between rent and pay tithes, you had to pay tithes. And they'll tell you, pray, brother. You gotta be confident. You gotta pray that rent is gonna get paid, but you gotta pay us our money.
Yeah. That to me right there, that backward ass logic was the last straw for me, and for anybody to tell me I gotta, honor some elders that didn't even have basic fucking wisdom for that shit, man. Listen, go fuck yourself, man.
We didn't know what they were doing with our money.
Backward ass.
Yeah, we had no clue what they were doing with our money. We couldn't ask. If we ask, can we see some receipts of what's going? Where's our money going towards? Brother, shut down, brother. You off.
Yeah,
you don't
shut
trust
down,
us.
right?
Like, damn, you know what? I want to have proof that what I'm doing is going something special.
No. What happened to that big old temple that they said that was going to take up blocks? How about that one?
I was just gonna talk about that. That we were making payments on that too, kid.
Yo, let's get there before. Right after we listen to Anthony, man. What was your final straw, or what happened? Why did you leave? Because I remember I met you through Facebook, really. And you're actually the one that facilitated this whole thing, which I appreciate you getting everybody together so we could talk about this, man, because I've been wanting to do something like this for a long time, and it's happening. And thank you, man.
It's happening. Hey, yes, man, sir. No problem. And as far as me, I mean, I really didn't have any red flags, so to speak. I mean, I was all in, I was actually, first time in my life, I felt like I was actually doing something good. You know what I mean? Like, I was good for nothing, and I'm actually trying to. I was a pusher. I was a pusher of the gospel, and I didn't really question anything. You know what I mean? My cousin had a good rank, and he was very devoted, and I didn't want to leave him down. So, I pushed and strived to be a valedictorian, went into the Hebrew Academy, try to graduate top officer 5,000. We went up to New York on like holy rank review or something,
Right.
and the Godsend Comforter gave me the top officer rank. And I was like, shit, man, you know, and then I remember him just being so happy, came and hugged me. He was like, yo, man, you know, God sees you putting in the work. You know what I mean? It got to be God. Got to be God. Look, you got the rank without even being valedictorian. And, you know, so I didn't really like had a red flag, so to say. You know what I mean? It was just certain things I did question, but I knew if I asked that question, they was going to look at me like an antichrist or judge me based on the question I asked. You know what I mean? Like, some things were like the raffle tickets,
Oh my
ID,
God, they forced that.
passports. At one point in time, he had some special readings or evaluations that you had to pay $500 for. I mean, it was just crazy stuff, man. One thing that I did remember was asking, like, damn, why the fuck are we when the Godsend Comforter walks in, you know, come in through anywhere. If he walks through, you gotta stand still and hold and spite your chest.
Right.
And then, you know, in class on a Saturday, we're supposed to be reverence the Lord's name, not Tazadakia. We'll be sitting there chatting, holy, 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 holy. Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck are we
man.
doing? That used to bother me because I knew that that's what the angels do to God the Father.
Right.
Damn.
And I was like, man, you know, those are some of the things I always had red flags. But what really broke the final straw for me was I was going through a personal situation, and one brother, you know, going back to what the other brothers were saying about the rank, you had some people that was over you that just were just unjust, you know, and no matter what, you had to suffer. You know, if he had a higher rank, you had to suffer and then ask, you know, the Lord to whatever. I don't even remember the saying it was. You know, I remember they used to say that a lot.
You gotta suffer wrongfully, brother. Suffer wrongfully.
Suffer wrongfully, brother. Suffer wrongfully. And eventually I got tired of the shit, man. And, you know, I guess I purposely missed 3 Sabbaths in a row to be purposely kicked out. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to go out on my shield, but I didn't want to just up and go. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
that happened when that happened.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And when that happened, you know, I felt terribly bad. I tried to immediately come back. You know, I put the request in for counsel to try to come back, and I went up to counsel. My cousin was actually the one that took me, was the one to bring the case to Tazadakia. And I ain't gonna lie, I cried like a fucking baby because I knew that was probably the last day that I was gonna be able to even speak to my cousin. Wow. And they put me out for 30 days. And while I was out within those 30 days, that's when I started to see Tisha and all the stories about what he's doing, the doll situation. And that's when I just started to, you know, put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm going back. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Tisha. Wow.
Yeah, man.
She put that story out there, didn't she?
She put a lot of stuff out there. And then the Justice League, I want to also give a shout out to those brothers. I don't know if they're still doing their thing, but you know, those brothers, when once I started to see the fucking piles and piles of evidence that he left in that man's truck, and you know, that whole story about that truck and about seeing that funds in there, and then that letter, you know, that coincided with Tisha's, you know, testimony about him telling her to go grab money out of the trash bags. I mean, you know, I was like, man, hell no, he got me. He's, you know, I got gypped, you know, I got duped. So, and I just left it alone, you know. And while I was, you know, going through that phase, transitioning to go myself out, the brothers are purposely scorning me on Facebook, purposely poking at me, calling me an antichrist and all this. I never even said anything about the man, but just because I didn't come back, I was automatically an antichrist, to the point where I just don't give a fuck no more, and I just say it. So
that's exactly where I'm at at this point. My fear is all subsided. When I was getting called out on that Blog Talk radio show and all of that, I promise you, I was on there. Like, I came like an hour late because I had no clue what was going on. I was asleep. I literally fell asleep like at 10 p.m. I was having the best sleep of my life. You know, not being in there and not having to deal with everything I had to deal with. brother, I was falling asleep at like 10 p.m. like a normal human being. And then I'm getting text messages and calls at 1 a.m. Yo, he's calling you out because I had already put it out there. You know, I was going ham. I was messaging everybody that I could on Facebook Messenger. If I still had your number through the ranks or whatever, I hit you up. I sent you I did it. I was like commenting on the Block Talk Radio thing, and I mentioned Nisha, his baby mom's 5, 6 kids. I mentioned the holy women or whatever. The what is it? The holy women. You couldn't speak about the holy women.
You can't even ask a question. Yeah.
And Shar got cut one time because he was like, "Don't even speak about them, even to say not to speak about them." You couldn't say anything about them as if they didn't even exist. Like, don't even speak because Yashar told everybody in Orlando, don't mention anything about these sisters at all. Don't even talk about them at all. And then he got cut and he had to come back and say, listen, don't mention them. He said like the same thing. Like, he wasn't supposed to tell us not to talk about them at all. So he got to that. I was like, what? What's happening here? Why can't we talk about these women? Like, these are supposed to be like the sisters that go out and help spread the so-called truth. What the hell are these sisters doing right now? Why ain't they going out there converting thousands of people on the day of Pentecost or something? You know, like, why is this not being done? They're still pretty low in numbers right now, and I think that they took a hit because of people like the Injustice League, the Rebel Alliance media, anybody that spoke out. You know, that's why I started doing this, because they slap you with silence, man. And it's like, man, I got a lot to say. But on that Block Talk Radio show, I still had that fear in me. And it's not like, it wasn't until maybe a few years after giving myself confidence, just studying, going over the doctrine and detangling myself, deprogramming, that I was like, I'm very confident right now in what I believe. And I know this is a lie. But there was a time in there where I was like, damn, I think Satan's in my brain telling me that something's wrong with me.
Yeah.
You know, do you ever get that? Did you ever get that feeling where you're doubting yourself, your own logical thoughts? Anybody?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we could freestyle this. It doesn't have to be in order. However you
Yeah,
want.
listen, I still, even until today, fight against, not really fight, but I have to, you know, tap myself on the shoulder sometime with some of the ways that I react to certain ideas or conversations, or like, I'm really, because I've been in the truth for so long that the way I think, you know what I'm saying, is all around what I was taught in the truth. So I could just be having regular conversation with people, and I could be making a point about something that I don't even really believe in today, but I'll start talking about it. Like, for example, especially when it comes to like other nations or people, like just random conversations. If it's a white person, I'll say certain things and I have to catch myself like, okay, well, hold on, time out. Because, you know, brother used to believe that, you know, these people going to hell, these people don't have no, they're going to hell, they're going to slavery, they don't have a chance to be saved. And, you know, sometimes I could just be talking with people about a random subject and I'll start talking as if I'm a real hater like that. You know what I mean? And I have to catch myself like, okay, hold on, you don't believe that no more. And then, you know, so it's you know, it still affects me even today just a little bit. I have much control over it now. It's been a very long time, but still I still catch myself with those ideas floating in my head and those thoughts. I could be watching TV, watching news, just talking to people, and my mentality of being in the truth be lingering in the back of my mind all the time. It's something that I really like live with, you know.
That's real.
Yeah,
Glad you
you know.
mentioned that, because like I was saying, like, I was scared, man. I was scared to come out and face Tazadakia, but I was on that phone, man. I was on that phone ready to do it, but I was very scared. Ever since he's died, it seems like that is like, it was like a spell that just kind of just wore off.
Dwindle away. Yeah.
I stopped talking about these guys for a while, but they peeked their heads back out. So I'm like, okay, let's do this. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of feelings. Like, I wonder if y'all had the same feelings. Like, Bruce is being real right now. That's exactly what, there's after effects, man. This stuff lingers. It's good to talk about it, I think. Some people deal with it better by not talking about it, and they just out of sight, out of mind, but it's going to come up. It's gonna come
You
up.
know, I hate to say it, but the ICGJC will always be a part of me. You know what I mean? That place, as much as they think that we talk shit about them, there's plenty of stories that we all can, remember that we had great times there.
Yeah,
Some of my
absolutely.
great moments were there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The brothers that I met, the cool ones, the good brothers, the one Rapayala, Kadashaka, you know, a lot of brothers even afterwards, at that time, if they might have been questioning my faith or whatever, but I ain't never, certain brothers just never straight out and said, brother, you evil or you're an antichrist. They would just be like, man, I'm pray for 'em. These
Mm,
brothers prayed for me. You know what I mean? They didn't speak up against me. They just let me go through what I had to go through. But there was
right.
some fake niggas that just, it is what it is. And it traumatized me leaving. It did. It traumatized me for almost a year. I was just questioning myself. I'm going to go to hell. I'm going to go do this and this and that. I mean, it was a lot of trauma. And I'm still suffering because I have family that's still in there. So for me, it's like, it's always going to be a part of me, and I feel guilty because my kids are still in there. You know what I'm saying? My wife is still in there,
Mm,
and I'm still. It's like a wound that's never gonna heal. Just I got a fucking scar that's open and it's just constantly salting it. Because of what I did, what I brought, what I believed at the time was the truth. I brought this girl in, wind up marrying her, and had all these kids with, and
You
she's
brought
still in
her
there.
in, and she's still in there.
Yeah, she's still in there.
You brought her in, and then now she's still in there. Yeah, that's one of the things that, because I like to study. I wanted to go into this stuff and what did I do wrong so I don't do this again. And I got into psychology and there's a special field of psychology that deals with deprogramming from cult manipulation. And there was a specific topic that dealt with when a one spouse leaves and the other remains, the family gets divided now. So that's a whole topic of its own. One of my favorite videos, because Rakah Karab from the Justice League had to deal with this. Rakah War had to deal with this. There's a lot of brothers out here that had to deal with having to be outside of a cult labeled as a demon, but your children still believe that that Tazadaki is the God sent comforter, that this place is the truth, and they might even go further and believe that their own father is a demon, and the mother's reinforcing that too. That's one of the worst situations you can be in, right there. So your story is one of those special stories, man, that I didn't realize all of this, until I started talking to you. What everybody went through is traumatizing, man. But this is it's ongoing. It's still happening right now in your situation. This is tough, man.
Yeah.
This is not no easy stuff. And I say it all the time, not to downplay what we went through. I always say, well, we didn't go through no Jim Jones stuff. We wasn't drinking literal poison Kool-Aid, Heaven's Gate. We didn't have to castrate ourselves when Haley's Comet went over. We didn't have to do none of that. But a lot of us are dealing with it on a psychological level more than a physical, level. But it affects us physically too. The Lion's Den is one of the things I think about. Brothers got hurt behind that whole Lion's Den thing, where a brother got addicted to painkillers because he was already jacked up. It was a brother named Kalat Tazayar, man. This brother used to get Lion's Den all the time. He used to call out from the Hebrew Academy and say, I gotta work. And Yashar would call his job, put it on speakerphone in front of all of us, and ask, "Is that brother working?" And they'd be like, "That brother's not working today. This cat's not working today." So he would lie to get out of all this stuff because they put him in Lions Den. He had back problems already. That brother would be sitting up like this in class. Then he had to go deal with the Hebrew Academy and learn the history, Hebrew, Bible breakdown, and all this stuff. And I'm telling you, this place is. There needs to be a movie or something that comes out about this place because this thing, it's crazy what happened. It's crazy.
Rafaela, you had a line then one time, right?
Yeah, yo, I had.
Rafaela.
Hey,
Oh man.
I don't know if y'all had it, if you had it with me that time, man. But this cat, man, just to show you how wicked these niggas are, man.
Yeah.
You know, I guess it came out later. They stopped doing it because but they I never forget, man. This cat had us on like some eternal push-ups type shit, man. But where they had us, it was like a damn fire ants, like in that area, and they did not care, you know. But again, you know, I allowed these things to happen to myself, man. These ants was literally biting our hands up so bad. I'll never forget, like maybe like a day or two later, man, the tops of my hands were just full of like them welts from where the fire ants bit up the top of my hands. You because these cats just, you know, they thought it was like just even more divine punishment that the fire ants was biting our hands up. Nah, brother, you just evil as hell for not letting us do push-ups somewhere else, man.
Right. That's
Wow.
what happened.
You know,
Wow.
so you know, these cats did a lot of stuff that, you know, again, you know, I do remember the good things that happened while I was there, the good people that I met, but I also met some damn, you know, some, you know, I can't even find the right words to describe that type of personality, you know. But even, you know, cats that used to tell me, man, that when I would make the choice to buy, you know, Pampers and wipes instead of paying 20%, you know, would literally threaten me with taking me to counsel. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna take me to counsel because I choose to not let my babies have a dirty ass and no wipes.
Huh.
You know what I'm saying to you? It, uh, I digress, but like I said, a lot of those things, when you say you carry the trauma with you to this day, it's a lot of stuff that I thought I was over because I was out of there probably about not too long after 2012, like in 2013 was when I was finally out there. After I had my last little girl, but you know the things that I thought I got over, you know, 10 years ago, you know, some of those things. Just talking to y'all now about it, you know, some of them things still come up. You know, the fact that, you know, they used to have cats thinking when if you left, you know, you might cross the street and get hit by a bus. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Like
So when I
Final
left out of
Destination.
Bro, listen, when I left out of there, I was literally looking over my shoulder at all times, waiting for a damn like a fucking boulder to just fly out the air randomly and drop on top of my car while I'm driving on 95 or, you know, something insane like that. But then when I saw that my life actually got better and I had money in my pocket and more opportunities started to pull up, you know, then the cat spun around and said, you know, the devil blessing you. You know what I'm saying? So which one is it? You know
That's
what I'm
what they
saying?
do.
Mhm.
That's what they'll do. They'll put the fear in you to make you question your own logical thoughts, common sense type things that come up in your mind subconsciously, you know, unbiased, just subconscious things that naturally it's like a defense mechanism, you know, like things like your brain figures out ways of having to deal with things easier, you know, and we do that in there. Like we just be like, yo, you know what? In order to deal with this, I have to put these thoughts in the back burner. These
Mhm.
natural logical thoughts are gonna mess me up because the scriptures tell you it's better for you to be either cold or hot instead of lukewarm. And I think
Lukewarm. Yeah.
yeah, that
Warm, right.
lukewarm stage, you know, just to kind of go into the scriptures. I don't know if this is what the scriptures are saying, but I always use this as a way to like kind of think about a certain time frame when I was in there that I was being torn like mentally. I was like, which way am I gonna go? Yo, that is mentally agonizing, man. You
Mhm.
know, I'm sure y'all went through that too, man. This is why I like talking to multiple people that could corroborate. Because yo, it's like we all have the same like an AA meeting, right? We all have the same sickness, you know. We
Yeah.
all went through the same thing, man. And it's like I can't talk to cats that I stayed cool with people in the so-called world all throughout my time in there. I wasn't cursing nobody out. I was like, bro, y'all want to smoke weed in front of me? No doubt. I'm gonna be drinking this beer while we watch this game. And those are my friends in the world. And you know, even though like now that I left and I'm afterwards, you know, me deprogramming, even though I wasn't in there, I had a different mindset. Now I'm chilling with them as I always did. I couldn't talk to them about what I went through like I can talk to you guys. They wouldn't
Exactly.
at
They
all.
won't understand. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to like. I mean, we could freestyle. I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely gonna ask some more questions, but I guess going off of that, you know, like mentally, man, like, do you feel like you're in a better place now than you were when you were put out or when you left or when
Oh, man, bro,
Absolutely.
infinitely, man. And the funny thing is, some of the best things happened for me on the way out the door. Like I said, the lady I'm with now, man, we've been together since I left there. So we got 10 years in. You know, my crib is stable. My place is nice. You know, got stuff that, you know, I couldn't even imagine what life would have been like if I brought her in there. You know what I'm saying? So I consider it to be like the ultimate lesson that I met her after I got out there. You know, and I was able to get my head together because, you know, sometimes she asks me, you know, how people sit through and put themselves through stuff like that. And sometimes I got to tell her, so, listen, man, they beat that shit into your brain, man. They beat it into your brain, and you know, it's a slow bleed. It's a slow bleed, and then all of a sudden you look up. You know, again, for me, when I started in 05, the time I left, you know, 7 years later, it was like I looked up and noticed I was in a completely different place in my life. You know, now it's that way again. 10 years later, I'm in a different place, man. I'm not living my best life, shit. And 50,000,000% than when I was in there getting bled out.
Yeah. You know what? I definitely feel like I'm in a better place now, much better place now. Um, and you know what? I'll always say I picked up. You know, sometimes in life when you're walking down a certain road, you know, you pick up good things and then you leave behind bad things. Like I picked up a lot of good, uh, you know, wisdom and just like morality and just being a better person. Like I kind of sifted all of what I considered to be useless, and I kept a lot of good that I learned. Like I'll never regret. You know what I mean? If I had a chance to do it again, like I told Rafael earlier, if I had a chance to do it again, I would do it the same way that I did it before. Because before I got in the so-called truth, I was a different person. You know what I mean? Like I was. Let me tell you, man. I wasn't a bad man, but at the same time, I was doing a lot of bad things. You know what I mean? And uh, you know, once I got in the truth, it kind of like cleaned me up a lot. And I don't want to, and I do want to put that on, you know, the teachers like Rashawan. That's my boy. You know what I'm saying? Like certain people that taught you certain things, and then the scriptures itself, like the scripture got a lot of wisdom. The only stuff that I don't like is when they start making stuff up. Like they could take prophecies and they could take certain breakdowns and twist it to benefit their narrative and just be having you, you know, come out your pockets and be having you do certain things that you know it was always in the back of your mind that, you know, this don't seem right. But you did it because you didn't want to go against what everybody else was doing. And you maybe felt like, you know what I mean? Like you was going to get singled out and you didn't want to do that. So a lot of times there was a lot of things that were being done that we always knew was wrong. At least I did, but I just didn't say anything. And, you know, but there's a lot of things that are right as well. But those are more like, you know, morality and just, you know what I mean? Just the right things to do. Like I still keep those things even until today. You know what I mean? So not being in the church feels great because now I feel like I'm not forced to have to, first of all, you know, bow down to no man. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have to be following what a man is telling me to do, whether I believe it or not. You know what I mean? And I'm able to deal with the world. You know what I mean? In a stronger way now. You know what I mean? So I give props to, you know, like the scriptures, not 100% of it, but there's a lot of good things in the scriptures, and which I still keep until today. You know what I mean? But I just, all of the bad things is what I left alone. And those bad things still in my head. I could look at somebody right now and my initial thought, but like, you wicked as hell. But it's like I don't even know you. But just because you are Chinese, I'm looking at you like you the devil and you got to go to hell. I still have those thoughts when I first look at somebody, and I got
Yeah,
to get those things out of my head. You know what I mean? But those are the things that I don't like that's stuck in my head. But there's a lot of good. You know what I mean? Why?
just
Yeah.
just real quick, I think that what you mentioned, you're being honest, man, and I appreciate that because that's actually part of unconscious biases. There's something called unconscious biases where people they have those things. It's like let's say I'm watching a UFC fight or something, and there's a Dominican versus a Chinese guy. I don't know any of them. I'm just
Mm.
gonna like naturally go for the Dominican guy just because I don't know.
Just because you're Dominican, yeah.
Right. It ain't because I hate the Chinese person, but I
Right.
think the cult breaks kind of like zooms in on that and breaks you down and makes you I think it's more of a weakness that's being exposed because yeah, if we're thinking logically, the Dominican guy might not be the best one to go for, but I'm doing it best based on his race. I think that right there is wrong, but as human beings, I think we all have those natural things, like this is my brother, he's black, but yo, we was in a cult where a black man, a very black man, deceived all of us. Deceived all of us. He was the blackest dude you could find. But guess what? He was actually doing us dirty because in there, the darker you are, they make it seem like that's a better thing or something. Like Jesus.
Yeah, it's like holiness.
Yeah, that dark skin is supposed to be royalty, I heard. And it's like, man, me as a very white looking dude, I have African in me, of course, but what the hell am I? Like, that was another thing with the 10 tribes thing. Bro, my brain was constantly on some, like, I remember Isaiah Nathan's daughter one time. I came up to the van and I didn't have my garment on, and I forgot what I was looking for Isaiah Nathan, and one of his like 12-year-old daughters or something. She was very young. She said, "Oh, I thought you was an Edomite," she says. Scared her, and she was like, "Oh, I thought you was an Edomite." And I think about that now, and I'm like, "Wow, that right there was a moment in time that meant if at the time I was like, oh, whatever." I felt a little embarrassed, but I look at it now and I'm like, wow, that goes to show you some of the stupidity, the dumb shit that they have in there, where they think a Mexican and a Haitian are brothers, but then a Haitian and a West African, it's like, no, they're not. Then they're like, oh no, but some Israelites are in Africa. So who are the all West Africans are Israelites? There's things like that, North American Indians are the tribe of Gad. Are the people in Alaska that live in igloos, are those the tribe of Gad too? The Inuits? It's questions like that. And I think this kind of we could go to the next topic on what are like the doctrinal things that you have a problem with right now, that because we could talk about all the things, the personal things that we were personally done wrong. We could talk about a natural feeling of just something ain't right, but you can't prove it. But are there like any doctrinal things that you can point out and say, yo, that I look at it now and I'm like, that's a problem with that doctrine?
Listen, man, I have never ever to this day seen a full biblical and thorough and logical breakdown of that 12 tribes. Listen, I might have it wrong because I don't got my Bible in front of me, but I think it was Ephraim, Puerto Rico, that I think they said something about their teeth being white with milk, and them cats saying they drink a lot of milk, or so some like third shit I remember hearing before, man. Like it was just third, and like, yo, bro, where you come up with this at? And again, it's no disrespect to the people that still believe in it, man.
Yeah.
But where you get some of this stuff from?
His eyes were red with wine. That means black people drink a lot of wine.
Drink a lot of wine. Yeah. That's for the wine bibber.
Hey, it's no disrespect to the people that believe it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, don't you ask a question like them? Saying how Dad dressed in these real, their attire that Father Dad wears You know, it definitely points to what when the Indians put on their headdress and they look real.
Oh,
And I'm like, come on, bro. You know, you really want me to listen to that and really,
yeah.
you know,
He teareth the arm with the crown of his head.
Mm.
That's supposed to mean that there's a blood brother pact. This is what they said. The Native Americans did a blood brother pact where they would cut their arms, like in the movie It. The kids cut their arms, and then they all put their blood together, pretty much, and mix it in.
Blood brothers.
That's not a Native American thing, bro. I've never found anywhere in history where that is a Native American custom. I don't know where they get that.
What about Benjamin? What about Benjamin? Oh, that's why them Jamaican brothers be having all that reggae music, and they always talking about Zion. Yeah, Benjamin crieth. How the scripture go? Yeah, Raven and Raven like a wolf. Yeah, that's Benjamin. You see,
we're listening to reggae music.
That was the reggae music, bro. For real, oh man.
Yeah.
You know, nobody.
Babylon.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody asked. It's like nobody asked the questions, man. And you know, I'm sorry. It takes us back to, you know, when you said where the deception was when they were supposed to give us the 12 tribes breakdown, and he said, "Oh, we already gave that. I'm gonna give you something better."
A lot of it played on the ignorance of our ignorance of the British English, because like the word raven, it's not raven. They would say raven. It's raven, like the word ravish, or you're ravenous, where you're hungry like a wolf. There's actually a song that goes hungry like the wolf. That's what it's talking about, when you're like eating and ravishing like a wolf. They made it seem like that means you're howling like a wolf, like howling at the moon, which now they'll say howling is like singing. And what do Jamaicans do? They sing. Oh, brother, listen, one time I was shopping for jerk seasoning, right? I was shopping for some jerk sauce one time, and there was a brand named Benjamin. I swear. There's a brand named Benjamin. And in my head, I was like, yeah, I knew it. This is Benjamin. This is a brand name for jerk seasoning that I found. And I'm like, yo, it's Jamaican Benjamin. Been jamming. They've been jamming. This is reggae music.
Been jamming. Wow.
Like, bro,
there
was brothers that would talk like that. I swear.
Let me tell you, man. Although, I don't believe in 100%, but like I said earlier, a lot of that stuff still be sticking in my head. I still like 50% believe in that, kid. The 12 tribe breakdown. You know what I mean? I still believe in it just a little bit. But the only thing that I just don't believe in, which was also taught, was that all other nations are going to hell and they're going to be slaves. Like that part right there, I used to believe it when I was in there, but the way I look at things now, like, come on, kid, that's impossible. Because I mean, there were times in the scriptures where the Most High would pardon people from other nations from being destroyed too. So who am I to say that in the last days he won't be doing the same thing? You know what I mean? Like I don't believe that you can know the scriptures and the future so that well to where you just really pridefully saying, I know God not gonna save you. Who are you to even say that, kid? You the unperfect man. You're an unperfect man. How you know you're gonna be saved? You know what I'm saying? For you to be talking about somebody else is not gonna be saved, B.
There's a lot of confidence in what they're saying. I think life there's a lot of things that are unknown, but they kind of use that confidence. Like, no, we know, which is like the appeal to secret knowledge. When somebody makes you think they got some secret knowledge, it's more appealing. And I think that's what they do when they try to talk that way, because the way that you're talking, they're gonna get on you and be like, see, he don't even know. And it's like, but that is the answer. Sometimes the answer is I don't know. And
exactly,
because they think they have an answer, like the tribe of Dan. What happened to the tribe of Dan? Just because they come up with an answer, they think like, oh, you see, we have an answer for it, therefore we know more than the other people. It's like, just because you're given an answer for it, don't mean it's the right answer. There's a lot of things like that. Yeah,
exactly. That's fact. And I remember one time, Tyler. Oh, pardon me, kid. I remember one time Tyler Dakia, when he had the seminar up in New York, and he said that night he was going to break down who are the 12 tribes in the rest of the world.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all remember that, and he never gave that breakdown.
That's what he inserted the Kool-Aid was that night.
Straight up and down.
He ended up doing a DVD on that later on, and then it was I forget what it was called, but it used parts of the seminar, and then he went to the studio and he had a fake gold background or whatever, where he added on to that seminar, that whole video, which is supposed to be the 12 tribes breakdown. But he came out at the seminar and said, "Y'all thought I was going to break down the 12 tribes, but the 12 tribes already been broken down by this man, Ariyah." Woo! And Ariyah comes out.
Right.
Ariyah comes out, grabs the mic, and says, "I'm so glad to be living in the time that I'm living in right now because I'm the comforter."
Yep, that's it. That's what he brought out the Kool-Aid.
All right.
Say that every year, man.
Yo, but seminars. We drove all the way from Florida. We were late, and Yashar got cut for coming late to that seminar too.
Man, see, I mean, we drove up there. We left the same night. Remember that? We ain't even stay overnight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we drove up to drive right back. I was hot when we drove up right back.
Drove right back. It was snowing and all that up there, kid.
We drove right back, bro. I was.
Y'all remember when the doll story came out? Were y'all in there?
Nah, I was gone by the time that doll came out. But when I saw that doll, I shook my head.
I was out too. I was gone.
Yeah, I was already out.
You was already out too?
Yep. I heard about it. I heard about it through the talks, but they were like, "Brother, if you're not strong, don't go to the website or don't read it, brother. If your faith is weak." But the higher, the higher ranks knew about it, and they try to keep it under wraps. And I remember hearing that on my way out, and then once I was out, I seen it, and that's all she wrote pretty much from there. That's all I needed.
I shook my head when I saw that doll. I said, "Come on, kid, really? What's going on?" And that doll was one of the most heinous acts, coming out of that church that I ever seen, kid. Like, out of everything that they teach in there, you made a doll be? Like, what? How can anybody accept that with what they teaching, kid?
Listen.
That's an idol, kid.
When you look
gotcha.
When you look at it though, the whole thing was set up for the idolatry anyways, because I seen cats that had, they had their big 3 posters, in their rooms set up already with the incense burner and the Hanukkah candle holder. What was that? The menorah.
The menorah, yeah.
Like it was almost like a idol set up already. You got your big 3 poster that you ain't want nobody to touch, that they were selling with their images all over it anyway. So, that was just, to me, that was a natural progression.
Yo, I hate to say it, I actually got one of them posters. I had to destroy it, man.
Oh shit!
Sure did, bro. All my stuff. I remember I gathered all my stuff together, man. I believe that I took all my DVDs and I may have put them at the doorstep of the new temple day.
Oh snap!
All them things up, man.
I sold a bunch of the DVDs to a brother named Zaquan.
I remember Zaquan.
Yeah, because he was still a believer at a certain time, and he would talk to me. And he would be like, "Well, King David sinned, and King David sinned, so Tazadaki is like King David. King David sinned." And it's like, all right, man, you want to believe that? How much you want for this bundle right now?
Yo,
he gave me like $60.
The one thing I wanted to get out, that that really got me was him saying that he was the comforter. And now that I read this scripture, like, I can't understand why I didn't see this in the first place. And I will pray to the Father, and then he shall give you another comforter that he may abide with you forever. And I'm like, how the hell I did not see this? It bothers me. It bothers me that there were so many red flags that I did not see. And I'm telling you, we reading the book Monday through damn Sunday. How is it that we don't see it? Like, that's when I started to say that the brainwashing is real, because I'm like, I must be blind, or I just refuse not to see, or I just didn't understand what was going on with me.
This kid all look like more like San Miguel than Taz, yo.
Yo, that doll looked like Aladdin, bro.
And he was mad because it wasn't black enough, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that's why he got into the.
Yeah,
I did an interview with the doll. I did an interview with the doll maker, Emil Vical. I interviewed him on my channel.
Oh, word.
Yeah, Emil Vical. Yo, I found that dude's. All right, so that article I had up tells you his name. I Googled his name. I came up with a phone number. I called it, and I looked up the laws in New York where he lives, and I can record his phone call without me getting prosecuted. So it was legal without his consent. And I was like, I'm gonna do that shit. I'm gonna record this joint. And I was, I didn't want to. At first, I was like, should I put it out? Because he was mad cool with me. And then I asked him at the end. I was like, man, I was recording this whole thing. Is it cool if I kind of put some things out there? And he was like, don't put this, don't put that, because he has said something about his political stance. He started talking about his political stance later on, and I was like, I fuck with this guy. Like the dude was real. He made a doll. He first started off. He got popular because he made a doll for Sarah Palin. A similar doll. He made the same doll that he made for Tazadakia for it wasn't Sarah Palin that requested it, but he made a doll of Sarah Palin. And he got on the news, and then I think Tazadakia, because he was talking about all of this, like this all led to him being asked to do this, and then the photo that they sent was a very lightened version of how Tazadakia looked. That's what he told me. He told me that they sent the photo that way, and that the judge realized that this whole thing was a scam for them to try to use dirty money, the money from the church, buying a product, and then suing for that product and cleaning the money that way. I was like, wow. Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Like, they were trying to play you, Emil. And he was like, I know. And the judge saw it. The judge saw it and said, have you ever requested to make a doll before? And Tazadakia, his lawyer was like, no, this is the first time we ever. Like, why are you requesting to make a doll if you're not a person that sells dolls? What are you doing? And the judge saw through it and saw this cat is already being investigated. Well, no, I don't know if the judge knew that, but come on, man. He's taking money from the church. He bought each doll $40 a piece, and then he was going to sell it for $120 a piece. That's what the lawsuit showed. And when I spoke to that dude, he made it clear. I was like, this is what they do, man. He was such a scammer that he was trying to use that dirty money and clean it up. That's what I believe, and it's like the evidence is just, of course, is what he's saying. And the judge, the judge saw through it. That's what I think. I don't think that it was because the doll was too light. I think these cats set that thing up from the beginning and used that whole racism thing, because people love to jump on that racism thing to try to get somebody behind them. And see, they're being racist. Now I got a lawsuit now for y'all. The judge saw through that, man. I think that's exactly what the doll maker said. He said they sent him a photo that he didn't look that dark, he said. So wow. But I think that was a funny ass comment. Somebody said the doll looked like more like San Miguel than hey, man, I might be selling a doll soon. I'm gonna hit that brother up. I'm joking. But on top of that, man, there was this was it right here for me. I'm gonna put it up on the screen, but when this happened in the cult, 5.3 million. I mean, that was like, wow. Like, listen, back in 2012, I knew something was wrong. But I didn't know. I didn't have this evidence at the time. You have people like the Rebel Alliance Media, you know, these brothers KOC, Marksman, they were doing videos and they were just getting at Tazadake. They were mostly making fun of his weight, you know, not mostly, but they would do things like that, you know, and try to get on him. But there's like now when as a member, man, if you see that this cat is arrested and then he pleads guilty, man, what kind of like that's gonna shatter your confidence in your faith in the cult. I would think so, but are you surprised that some of these cats are still in here? No.
I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised at the same time, you know, because they really are. They are really really brainwashed, and you know when you're brainwashed and you're like blind, you know, they could tell you anything, kid, and you'll just believe anything. You know what I mean? So I'm surprised. It hurts to see a human being in that predicament, but at the same time, I know that that's reality. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. I'm surprised to see it, but I'm not surprised though. Because I used to be up in there, so I understand how I used to be. So,
Yep.
you know, I could only imagine, you know, how they are. You know what I mean?
Hey yo, you got since you flipping through that stuff, you got that one because that was one of the things for me too that kind of made me give him the side eye, man. That one video, remember that video promo that had the We Take Over joint? It was like a video promo joint, man. And this cat, like the damn limo, and he in the club partying. And
in Miami. In Miami.
Oh yeah. He was down here in Miami, wasn't it?
It was in Miami, yeah.
You know, in my mind, you know, it's just like you said, man. How the Holy Spirit going to the club, jumping out of limos with chicks, you know, and one he like bobbing.
And the bitch didn't even look that good. She looked like a damn escort.
You see the one like trying to shove her head down.
Word.
Man, and then you know, also I think some brothers in Orlando had said that he had pulled up in that same that Lambo.
In that yellow Lambo.
Rolled up to in the Lambo, and he was spotted with that Russian chick. You know, and I'm sitting there in my mind like, you know, how you the Holy Spirit and you carrying on like that, man. And please don't give me that, you know, just like the brother just said, David sinned. Nah, listen, man. You the Holy Spirit, man. So your rank higher, bro. Your rank is higher.
Exactly. Get up and down. You're not supposed to be doing it. And then you're the Holy Spirit. You're supposed to be the comforter, kid.
Yeah, Tazadake took her into the hotel room, according to Barry Pugh, the voice of Israel, who was part of the Injustice League too. He was the one that dealt with all the cameras, and he was down there in Miami, and he was like that. She said that she was Russian, and that dude was making out with her in front of them, and that she went up in the hotel room. He knows that for a fact.
Just rushing to the hotel. That's all.
Why he rushing?
He rushing.
But need to be free, or AKA Barack Bun. Need to be free, AKA Barack Bun, came out and said that he saw the Lamborghini. He was on NIS, which is the National Nation of Israel Security. So he was out front one Sabbath day, and Tazadake was in town, but you wouldn't have known that. And all of a sudden, it's the business time. That finishes. The money's in the treasury now. The money's in there in the room in Orlando. And here comes Tazadake right after that, coming to go get all that money. And he had a chick waiting in the car outside in the Lamborghini, some model-looking chick, that he was probably telling her that she's going to be a model.
That's crazy. That is crazy, man. That is crazy. That is crazy.
Listen, you know,
underneath our nose, man. That's so crazy. Damn, that's so evil, man.
And listen, let me tell you, a real close friend of mine, Raphael, you know James, the brother that used to call the evil Amath.
Evil Amath.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, the brother looked like a moth, but he wasn't. But he'd been left the truth from before. But
Yeah.
we used to make music. You know what I'm saying? Like we used to rap some back in the day. Well, still rap a little bit, but the brother left to go to New York to pursue a rap career. Now this is before the Hebrew Academy came down. This is before Tazadakia came out as a God sent comforter. This is before all this time, and they were going to make him one of the main dudes in the group that they called the Byzantine Kings, right? And this brother used to hang out real close with Tazadakia. Now this is before Tazadakia came out as a comforter. I believe this is even before he probably was an apostle at the time. I believe he was an apostle, one of the apostles who was so-called apostles. But the brother came back. The brother used to be telling me what they used to be doing. He used to hang out with Tazadakia. Tazadakia used to be smoking weed with the brother and all that, kid.
Nah.
Straight up and down, kid. And I'm gonna tell you one thing. Now, this brother right here don't have no reason to be lying about this kid. When he came back down, it's not like he was just talking about Tazadakia in a negative way. We just be having conversations about, because there was a one brother that they used to do bad up there, who that's a whole other story. But he used to be vulnerable with the brother, smoking weed and all that, kid. And then when the brother told me that, I was like, nah, you talking about Tazadak? He said, yeah. He said Tazadak. Yeah, dark skin, heavy set brother. Yeah, Tazadak. Yo, son, like I knew things about Tazadak through this brother right here on a personal level that that I was hearing after I left the truth. Like just shake my head, like you know what I'm saying, like. And so now when all of this other stuff started coming out, it was a surprise, but it was kind of like, okay, well, I knew that's the type of man that he was, kid. Like that cat was straight like a hood type of nigga, kid. Part of my language, but he was like a. Them cats was real. Them cats was real hustlers, kid. I'm telling you, they were real street niggas, man. Straight up. Tazapawan too, kid. I don't know about the smoking weed with Tazapawan, but the doctor used to smoke
Oh yeah,
weed
he used to
with
smoke
my
weed.
boy, kid.
Yeah. I heard about that through a sister named Star. Y'all know Star. She used to be married to Ma Walker Cum before Ma Walker Cum's new wife. It was a sister named Star. She was Jamaican. Beautiful sister.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she ended up marrying somebody else later on in New York. But my wife knew her through a mutual friend on Facebook, because I think we all from Queens. I think she was from Queens too. And yeah, you sound like you from Queens, by the way, Bruce.
I'm originally from Brooklyn, kid, but I've been out here forever though. But I'm from Brooklyn though.
Just the way you talk about a kid, yo, what up, kid? Like that reminds me so much. That reminds me so much of Queens. But that's how Tazadakia was. Like that's why I felt like I could kind of relate to him a little bit, because I'm like, this cat sounds like somebody I grew up with or something. Like he's like one of us. He's a hood cat.
Yeah.
Over here weed. he's eating his wife's pussy and shit. He told Rapayala, aka Batazal Allah, Payala could come from Orlando. Payala could come one time, was bringing a brother up to council that went down on his sister, on his wife. And Tazadakia came out and said, brother, I'm gonna bring out an understanding on that. That's all right. Don't worry about that. I promise you, he said that but according to the brother. And listen, that brother would not, if Rapayala could come, man, that brother would not lie, man. I did live with him, and that was one of my favorite lives I've ever done, because that dude was so knowledgeable about everything that was wrong in there.
Yeah, but I remember one time he had this sex education over the a meeting. Remember that shit, Rapayala? Where everybody got on the line and asked them all these sexual questions. And
for real?
Dr. Carr, you can vouch. You remember that?
They used to have them phone.
Remember, it was like Day of I think it was Day of Atonement. I believe it was.
Oh,
and it was like,
that's just to win too much detail.
Yeah. He was like, she was like, if I swallow it, is it is it a sin? And then he was like, all right, I think we're sitting right now. Man, that shit was hilarious, man. But he was telling us, and from that day he gave an understanding that it was okay to kiss around it, but you can't physically eat it.
Oh my God.
Swear to God. I swear for liberty. And right now, all them brothers, they're picking their plates, can't eat the damn dinner.
Man, them sisters must have been like sexually frustrated up in there, man.
Oh gosh.
But meantime, this cat eating coochie, sticking fingers in buttholes. What's going on, man?
He did that. That was that finger in the butthole thing, bro. That was like me. All right, when I first deprogrammed, when I first the red light or the light went off when Yaquam calls me up one day, right? Good old Yaquam from Fort Myers, man. He calls me up and says, "Listen, brother, this place is about to be raided. You don't even know what's about to happen and all this stuff." I was like, "What? Tell me more." And he's like, "Listen, man, there's a van that was found." He told me that in 2015. He was like, "You can't say nothing." I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna keep my mouth closed." And then I opened up San Miguel TV, of course, and I started putting it all out there. But I didn't know to the extent of like what these brothers that were working with the FBI and the Justice League, they really knew what was going on. I was just being told something by Yaquam, and I used to do my own taxes. So he's like, "Yo, he uses this fake entertainment company to launder the money from the church and so on." And I was like, "I know exactly what you're talking about. This is a loophole. They use a 501c3, which they always told us they don't need help from the government. They always told me, since I can remember, man, from the beginning, they always said that we don't need to do that because once you get a 501c3, now they got to tell you what to teach." And Yaquam pretty much laid it all out for me. And I started looking on the Rebel Alliance Media's page and their videos, and I found Nisha Delgado. I found a comment that she said, "This guy's he's putting his fingers up in booty holes." And I was like, "What?" So I looked because she put her full name, her whole government was her YouTube name. So I was like, let me put that name in Facebook. And she comes up and she's friends with Rakat Karab. She's friends with Wes DePena. And I'm like, hold on, man. Let me hit her up.
Yeah.
And I was like, Sherlock Holmes, man, listen, you're going to tell me that this cat that I thought was the comforter is putting his finger up in booty holes? Oh, man, I need to know that this is for real, bro, because my salvation depends on this. And after what Yaquam just told me, like, listen, man, I need to know. And she was all like, "Who are you? Did he send you?" And I was like, "Nah, sister, like, I used to be a ranking member, and I'm starting to see the bullshit." And she just laid it all out. The Facebook group popped up out of nowhere. Remember that, Anthony?
Yep.
Once that Facebook group popped up, man, and everybody started telling their stories, I was like, I'm not going crazy. You know, everybody got similar stories, man. It all unraveled after that. I was like, man, what the hell? What did I just come out of? Who am I now? Like, I didn't know what to do, bro.
And wasn't that a big one of the biggest lies? We're a self-supported nation. Everything is funded through us. We don't ask government help, this and that, da. And Mawat Shah told me, he said, I used to hear that shit all the time. I'm standing on NIS, standing right next to the 501c3 on the fucking wall.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, so you knew the whole time? It's like, yeah. I was like, and it was a lie that was consistently told over and over and over and over again. We're not a 501c3 or whatever it is.
Yeah, the 501c3. Amath was the one that went and applied for that. Amath. And then he went up there.
I used to love that brother, man. I love that brother.
Amath was a cool brother,
I love Amath, man. I used to love that dude, man. I think he was one of the realest dudes up in there.
Yeah, man. I love that brother, man.
I had to tell him straight up one time on a video, though. I was like, I don't like this cat because of the fact that he was the one that went and applied for that out here, and him and Lincoln Warrington knew it's under both of their names, man. Which is the Zappa one, and then he's sitting up there saying that that we're not a 501c3. Like that's when you know you're really deep in there, when you see the lie and you become a part of the lie. See, I wasn't lying Like I was lying unwillingly, unknowingly. I was lying, but I wasn't doing what he was doing or what my cousin was doing. Like
Right.
they know that there's a lie going on, and then they perpetuate it or they don't speak out against it. I lose a lot of respect. I had a lot of respect for Amal, but that right there was when I was like, wow, I can't believe it. That dude was lying the whole time.
Hey man, he might have been getting broke off. You know what I'm saying?
Who
You know,
knows?
and I know that personally. You know, that people were getting broke off. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to say his name or whoever, but you know, they say that they used to perform for him, and he'll
Yeah.
dump 5-10 G's in your pocket. You know, and huh?
I think Laharash, I think said one time he got paid.
Yeah.
I know young Jedi or whatever, Saint, what's his name? One of them rappers, he got paid. It was a Byzantine queen, Lynetta. She told me she got paid. Bro, I spoke to so many people that just haven't even spoken out. You know, that I'll just speak to and I just rap with, you know, that was really a lot for just to confirm what I believe in, you know. There's a lot of information out there that I know a lot of people in here didn't put out. You know, St. Ivan, I think, has even told, yeah, one time, you remember this, St. Ivan, Mr. Louis, man. One time it was the Triple A's, man. It was out here in Orlando. They did it at the Hard Rock. And it was me, St. Ivan, Barack Bun, a brother named whatever, I don't even remember his name. But I also think Mawar Lamont Noel was there, and Tazadaki was there, and Tazadaki was talking about the spirit, and he was asking us all of us questions, and he said the answer's in the air. See, there's a spirit. You gotta tune in, lock in with the spirit, and then you get the answer or something. And St. Ivan was answering certain things. I think he got one question wrong, and then Tazadaki started complaining about how people are not doing what they supposed to do. And Tazadaki, I paid some of y'all, and some of y'all got paid, right? Kazaki Matanya. Let me see that again. My bad. Let me see if I could.
There you go.
The tribe of Benjamin. You must have got that out of Passover.
What about this?
I had to find it out my closet real quick.
What about this joint? What about this joint right here?
Oh man, is that one of the original flyers, man?
That's one of the original flyers when they were called the Israelite Church of God and Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, I remember that flyer right there, kid.
49 number.
Wow.
You see the 305? 249? You remember that number?
Why do I remember that number?
Wow, yo, you dug that one up for real.
Yeah, I keep that one here on the side sometimes.
Hey, that's a classic.
Damn, I'm not at home. I have a couple of memorabilia, but I'm not at home. I recently found my war scarf, the black one. Remember, I just showed San Miguel the picture of the war scarf.
Yeah, I used to rock that shit to work.
Yeah, I mean, I'll still rock it, but part of me I can't put that shit on my head. Nowhere near it.
Well, no, while I was in there, I used to rock that shit to work for sure. But yeah, now, bro, I don't know what I did. I definitely threw away the red and white garments, the Captain of 13,000.
I still got mine, unless the wife snuck in there and grabbed it and gave it back to them, because I think it became a order that we had not only that we had to pay for these $500-$400 garments. At the end of the year, we had to turn them in and get new ones.
Yeah, you had to turn in.
We couldn't even keep the old ones.
And you paid for it.
And you paid for it. What? Like
year
what?
I told you, man, what?
$350, $500 maybe.
I think it was $400 when I was in there.
Yeah,
it was $400.
That's why.
And then when you went up the rank, it cost more. So when they came out with them trash ass apostles fucking garment, which is a mixture between a bishop and a chief priest, that shit looks horrible, by the way, with the little stripes going down the side.
The holy apostle one.
Yeah, them bitches are trash.
That's when they got the marbles on it, right?
Yeah, the limestones, or whatever the fuck they are.
It's marbles and fish tank stones, yo.
Right.
Cats paid like $1,200, man. $1,200.
That's what they were paying.
I thought that weren't they like $1,000 or was it 800? I'm sorry, I could be off. I thought it was like $1,000, but it could have been like 800.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of money. There wasn't a lot of money going back in, and I understand what Saint Ivan is saying. He used them as a scapegoat because he had to come out of pocket at least once or twice. I'm sure he probably paid one of the Boys to Men people. Like I said, one of the Byzantine queens said that she got paid one time, and this is all just word of mouth, but I believe people at their word unless they give me a reason not to. I know Saint Hood got not Saint Hood, Young Jedi or whatever from Philly, Godiah One's younger brother. He definitely got paid.
My cousin told me that he got paid for performing, for cutting up for him, for dancing for him.
Yeah, I'm sure he probably paid Slick Rick or Tank when they came out and performed.
Oh, they had to. Yeah, they had to. Them boys about their money. And that what's that other boy named Red, the comedian?
Oh yeah, the secret. Yeah, it was funny. That cat.
Yeah, because
did you have Carl Thomas? Well, not Carl Thomas.
Carl Thomas.
Old it wasn't Carl Thomas. Yeah, one of them old R&B cats.
Avant.
That sang at that thing before. That was like one of the last ones I was at.
He didn't have Avant. You know Avant?
Yeah, I know who Avant is. I don't
remember. He have him? I think he did have Carl Thomas one time.
It might have been him, but I remember he had one of them old school R&B cats that sang one time.
There's a brother from Jagged Edge, Brian from Jagged Edge is part of Sakari right now. The Sakari Hebrew Israelites, the main one from Jagged Edge. Remember they had them headbands. They had the what do you call it, the whatever. But yeah, the ICGJC definitely had to. I think Tazadakia knew that it's better if I show like I'm doing something. I'm putting some money down for these events because he did that. He would do that for the Passover and write everything off at the end of the year as if this is money that was being used for this entertainment. You see, so we're using some of the money, but it's like it still came up $5.3 million. I'm looking for that.
We know that number is way more than 5.3. That's just 5.3 that they could find, man.
Exactly.
Man, that man had money stuffed in a fucking truck of a car. Yep. And he forgot about it. That means he do so much dirt that he completely forgot about the safe. I mean, that's crazy. You do that much dirt that you forget where you left 10 grand.
Garbage bags.
Garbage bags, man.
Garbage.
That means God knows. Just like San Miguel was just telling a story about how they came down here and they came around business time and took money while he was in the Lambo. Like that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy.
A few funny things like that. Like one time they came out here. The first time they came out here, they taught a class in a brother's crib. The brother Shakur Gonzalez, he usually comes up here. That was Kazakala. They came up in his crib. He did a class, and then after the class, Tazadaki security asked the brother, they know where they could get silencers for guns. Like there was all types of things like that going on that I didn't know. I didn't hear about that until way later. I was already out, not believing. And once you get the courage to try to get more information, because while you're in there, it's all information control, and they don't allow you to go out and learn other things and get information from other sources. They want to be the main source. It's like a monopoly on truth. They try to put a monopoly on knowledge and truth, and then anything else that gets put out there, it's just hearsay and word of mouth. But this cat said he went to Mount Sinai and spoke to God, and they're supposed to just take that on word of mouth. There's no proof. There was no passport ever shown. People were promised that the passport was going to be shown. None of that shit was ever shown. He said he would. And, you know, that's just a way of them trying to get people to come out and expose themselves as maybe a non-believer. But they never provided any evidence for it. I mean, not only, how crazy is the claim that you speak to God? You know, like, they got to answer for so many things. And then
No,
when
that
we,
you are the Holy Spirit,
like, oh,
the God sent comforter. I remember when he asked a brother, he said, "Brother, you got a problem with me being the God sent comforter? Or the comforter?" He says, "From now on, start referring me to as the God sent comforter." That's why for everybody who leaves, they were forced to name them by that. And you had to fucking address them by the holy apostle and chief high priest, the God sent comforter. Just like that. It's crazy, man.
Oh no, the way that I knew him, I was like, man, that definitely can't be, kid, because he had too much. He was too much of a. He was too worldly. You know what I'm saying? He had too much worldly ways about him to be a God sent comforter, man. I mean, one thing about him, he definitely was very versed in the scriptures. You know what I mean? And he's very knowledgeable in the scriptures. And you know, he's been in the truth for a very long time. So yeah, you know what I mean? He but man, that brother was just like any regular nigga, man. Straight up. He was just like
Yeah.
any regular nigga. He used to be driving around in the Benz, smoking weed, going here and there with my homeboy, living like a regular person. You know what I mean? And you know, me knowing all of them things, it was just I just look at it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? God put people in your life and you just take the good things and you leave all the bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just like in the scriptures, you're not supposed to be looking up to no
Worldly.
man or worshiping no man, period. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even with the apostles in the Bible, even with Paul and the disciples and all that, even they said don't look at them in that way. You know what I mean? That as more than men. You know what I'm saying? Don't idolize them and don't do that. You know what I mean?
And they used
So
to throw.
whoever's doing that is just blind. You know what I mean? Like they know the scriptures, but they still doing it.
They used to throw that it was a scripture to justify that. Like it says, like I forgot what it was. It was like whatever is bond in the heavens is bond down here, or some crap like that.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, if these men were chosen by God, whatever they say goes. Whatever is bonded here goes up there. Whatever. Just like if the man calls you, labels you as an antichrist, that's it. You can never go to heaven. Like you're a man. You know, if God is the ultimate judge, who the fuck are you to say anything about God?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the beauty about putting yourself as a figure in the Bible. Now your word becomes scripture in a way.
Right.
Right.
So he
I
could
don't believe
accuse people like True Wiz. He accused Yaquam and other brothers that I heard stories like Zariah Sha'ala. They just get accused of things, and they don't need to prove anything because the claim itself is proof. While Nisha, Tazadaki's baby mom, is making claims of things that Tazadaki did, and they're saying, "Well, you got to prove this. Where's the proof for anything that you saying?" That's what Saint Basil said one time. Where's the proof of anything that you're saying? And then 2 minutes later, he's like, "We don't need no proof. We know that our leaders are doing right."
Yeah.
Like, yo, the double standards was crazy. Shit like that. Like, hold on, man. You just said, "Where's the proof?" You're asking the next man for proof, and then you come out and say you don't need no proof. So the bias, the double standard, is off the charts, man. That you see why there's a lot of people in there that they can't like mentally figure their way out of there. It's like this is like mental, damn. It's like a mental goddamn psychological ninja.
And this man is bold-faced lying on there talking about that the numbers have been growing. Like from where? Like all I've seen the IUIC going on campsites that I brought the ICGJC to.
Yeah. Yes.
Like and they purposely going there, stealing your followers.
Yo.
And they fucking grew exponentially big down here. I'm talking about huge. And within a matter of 3 years, I just seen them explode everywhere.
IUIC?
The IUIC in Miami, man, they're strong out here. I'm talking about when they come out for camp, they got about close to 100, 200 people.
God damn.
And they're on four corners of a campsite that I brought ICGJC to.
That happened in Orlando. When I came across these cats one time, I went to there's a big Walmart out here in East Orlando. It's right by UCF, University of Central Florida. It's one of the most registered students in the United States. I think it's number 2 right now. UCF, number 2 most registered students in the United States. Michael Jordan's son went to UCF. It's like a whole town of its own. That Walmart over there is one of the most heavily shopped, and they make the most money compared to any other Walmart. I mean, one of the biggest ones in the United States. I went out there was a corner. This is where we brought in Dahawam's wife. I forget her name, but Dahawam's wife came in from there, from that campsite, the Walmart. I went over there shopping one time, like years later, after I'm already out. San Miguel TV's out, and IUIC is there, handing out flyers, man. The same way that we used to do it. This is scary. Yep. This is what's weird. They have different groups in one location. Each one of them have a clipboard,
right,
where they could write down the names of the potential fruits or whatever while they're handing out flyers. And then there's somebody speaking to camp somewhere. They didn't do that at the Walmart, but they do the same thing all throughout Orlando. It's it's crazy how they claiming that they're going to be the biggest group. The year 2012, the year of the Israelites.
I was there.
You were there. I was already out looking around like that.
2012. I think we all were still there. Rapayala and Kadashuka.
It was supposed to be Shields of David on every corner and all the buildings, and we're supposed to walk around, and everybody was supposed to know who we are. And
they're gonna be running to our coattails, grabbing our garments.
You're gonna look at the news and see the news reporters gonna have a Shield of David.
Yeah, news reporters back. Well, I'm just telling you, man. That's why I say, again, no disrespect to nobody, and if you still there, whatever, no disrespect to you, man. But again, me, enough is enough, man. Enough is enough, man. You got to stop peddling this at this point. It's like these guys are on their last run with it now, just trying to triple the last, trying to squeeze blood out of a stone, if you will.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, after a while, it's like, it's like a boxer. You don't got your ass whooped for 11 rounds, and you ain't got no legs left in the 12th, man. Just, go sit down, yo.
I see people wearing the Shield of David, but that they're not in the ICGJC. I've seen Lamar Odom, Amari Stoudemire. I've seen a bunch of people talking about God is Jesus Christ is black, Yahweh, and all that stuff with the Jesus Christ with the white afro, image.
And that's another thing, and they're mimicking everything off of the ICGJC. I mean, I'm looking at their freaking 12 tribe sign. It looks exactly like the one that we made. They have the that painting, that drawing of Christ, black Christ with the white afro.
Yeah.
They have that out there, and I'm like, damn. Even their flyers, the little square ones that we used to cut out, the little rectangle ones, they make them just like that too, like that. But no, we were cheap down here. We used to have to go to Kinko's and get them at 3 o'clock in the morning. We used to have to do front and back.
You realize how the IUIC, they're also called in Christ, like the Israelite Church of God in Jesus.
Right.
There's a lot of similarities between those two churches and the way they just operate. I watched some of their classes too, and they also have the broadcasted classes, and you know they'll do the live shows, and then if you're unclean or whatever, you can watch it from your crib, and like you could tune into a live link where you watch the whole. Tazadaki's been saying he was going to do that, but he didn't anticipate things like COVID. He didn't anticipate that he was going to get arrested. He didn't anticipate that he was going to die.
Hey, you
And
know what?
it.
I told my cousin, this was the last thing I talked to my cousin. I said eventually he's gonna get caught or dead, and you guys gonna be following him as a freaking martyr.
Wow.
And sure enough, bro, all three happened. All
God,
three happened. And this is way before he died, and this is before he got convicted, before he even got raided. I'm telling you, I told him that was gonna happen. And I didn't know it was going to all happen. I just told him he's going to wind up either dead or in jail. It just so happened that he was down on his luck.
When I heard that he had COVID, he was still alive, and my uncle had just died from COVID because he had diabetes, and I was thinking, hold on, Tazadaki has diabetes, and he got COVID. I told my wife, I asked my wife, I was like, yo, imagine that he dies. What if he dies? That'd be crazy.
Oh, I didn't know he had diabetes.
Yeah, he had diabetes, but he said that he don't get sick. He's the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
I think San Miguel just posted something the other day of him contradicting himself about COVID or something about you don't have nothing to worry about if you're righteous or something.
Yeah,
and this motherfucker dies, bro.
Brother Gerari, who I went live with last week,
yeah,
Minnesota, he was on here earlier. He's Soldier 144. I'm trying to look for his comment, but that brother's been sending me. He still got the DVDs, so he's been sending me a whole bunch of stuff, and he's like, brother, I gotta watch some of these DVDs. He's like, I can't stand the sound of this guy's voice.
Isn't that the brother? Isn't that the brother in the wheelchair?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah. Okay, all right. I think I know who that is.
That guy has become like my favorite person to talk to, bro. That guy is just so knowledgeable, and he has so many receipts that we haven't even brought out yet. We're gonna go live on November 1st. The pretty much the anniversary of the raid 2016. This is gonna be the 7th year anniversary of November.
Damn, it's been that goddamn long. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. I can't believe it. See, I've been out of the church at least 8 years, 9 years.
That's a long
You know what I mean?
I think I was
crazy.
I think I was out shortly after you, if I'm not mistaken.
Rapayala went first.
Yeah,
I remember.
None of y'all was in there when the raid happened, 2016.
I think maybe Kadash. No. Oh no, I called Kadash. I called Kadash and let him know. That's right. Yeah, you was out. Yeah, we were all out by then. And
he asked who drew the image of Jesus Christ. I believe that this image. I don't know who drew this image, but if you watch the what's it called? The BCC Louis Theroux interview when they went to 1941 and what's his name was there, man? That brother that committed suicide, Shabar. Louis Theroux asked Shabar. Shabar told Louis Theroux, "You see this image right here? This is God cutting off the head of the Pope. He's like, this is what's going to happen in the year 2000." The brother that drew that image was a brother named Shamar Alia from New York City, who was the one that helped get started Orlando. He was the one that brought all of that to Orlando to the brother Barakban, who's Need to Be Free, Amath, Lakadal, Shayaraka. These are the first members of Orlando. That brother that drew that shit right there was the one that started up Orlando, by the way. So his name is Omar Alia. That's for the brother Reno James from Philly. How you doing, sir? But damn, we got a few people up in here, man. It's getting late, man. I don't want to keep y'all too late. Y'all want to maybe just say some closing words? Do you have anything to say to people that are in there? Like, what's the reason why y'all came on here today? Is it because you want to talk about your story, or I I don't know. Let's direct some of our, I guess, what we got to say to the members that are still in there, or people that might be questioning some of this stuff. What do you got to say?
Well,
Right,
I got 17% left, so let me let me shoot my shot first. Y'all don't you know, my thing is don't feel right, you know, you probably spot on what you're thinking. If something does not feel right, you know, go with that feeling. You know what I'm saying? Because you're probably, you know, right where you need to be in getting the door and getting yourself out of there. You know what I'm saying to you? I'm not here to diss nobody. I'm not here to speak ill about anybody, but you know, definitely there to tell you that listen, you're not gonna get hit by a bus, you're not gonna get hit with no divine misfortune. Um, you know, if things get better for you, it's not because Satan is blessing you. It'll be one of the best things you could do for yourself and for your family. No doubt, one of the best things you do for for yourself and your family, and you'll see that life goes on, man. You can still hold on to your values. You can still hold on to the best things that you get. And for me, I was able to clean up my life and get out of a lot of the bad shit I was into, and hold on to the good. Met some people that will be forever cool with, and that's it, man. Life move on, man. Live your life.
Bruce.
Right.
Uh, yeah, to kind of piggyback what Rapala said, if your spirit is telling you that it's wrong, pay attention to your spirit. You know what I mean? And don't fall victim to being a slave to a man. And because you might find yourself, worshiping the man more than you're actually following the wisdom and the righteousness, the righteous words and the righteous things that the Bible have to offer. You'll find yourself doing what that man is telling you to do rather than what those righteous words in the Bible is telling you. You know what I mean? So pay attention, just pay attention and get up out of there, because in the end of the day, it's not about following man. It's about becoming a better person. It's not about being part of a group or a gang or a family. And now you're following people. You know what I'm saying? You are a man, you're a woman, you got family. Focus on your family, take care of your family. Don't put nobody in front of your family, man. If it's wrong in your spirit, 9 times out of 10, like Rob Powder said, it's probably really, really wrong. You know what I mean? So open your eyes, take the good stuff and then leave the bad stuff alone, you know? And if you feel like you can't, if you feel like you're stuck, then you got a problem. You know what I mean? If you feel like you're stuck in there, you don't want to get people mad, so you don't want to go against what people are telling you, but in your spirit that what you're what you're doing is not right, pay attention to that. You know what I mean? Pay attention to your conscience, you know what I'm saying, and to your spirit. You know what I mean? Do not ignore your spirit, don't ignore your conscience. Nine
Be
times out of
naive.
ten, what the spirit is telling you is probably right.
Yeah, I'll just say this just to butt in real quick. Don't be naive. A lot of us that came in, man, we gave people the benefit of the doubt, and I wasn't a confrontational type of brother. I was always just like willing to learn. So I just went along with it, and I ended up in there. A lot of y'all brothers sound like just like me, man. I can relate to a lot of what y'all saying. Great testimony, man. Kadash, man.
Yeah, man. I'll say, man, yeah, don't carry no hatred in your heart, you know what I mean? Versus the other people that's out here, whether they Chinese, white, or anything like that, you know what I mean? If they show you that they believe in God and things like that. Don't knock them down because of their wherever their lineage of their father come from or things like that. All that BS. I'm sorry, I ain't mean to use BS, but it is. You know what I mean? It's God's people. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And if that was another gut feeling for me as well. That that in particular wasn't right. You know what I mean? I could get into it, but it's no need to. You know what I mean? And yeah, open. I can definitely say open your eyes because coming out of this church, yeah, I had my moments where I cried too, really bad. You know what I mean? Because I actually thought this was the truth. I put I put 3 years of my life into it. I put my all into it. You know what I mean? I end up getting kicked out over something simple as in my grandmother passed away, and I chose that I wanted to go to the funeral on a
Wow.
Sabbath day, and they kicked me out because of that reason right there. And because I asked the so-called holy apostle, the one who's no longer living, I was asking him, I was like, where show me where this makes sense. Where where your loved one passing away, with your loved one passing away, how do I make sense of this in the Bible? Because if my mother or my father pass away, you mean to tell me, and you just and I spend my ticket, I go to New York, waste my money, go to New York, and you tell me no, I want to know how to take that. I'm just going to go and do their funeral. You mean to tell me I can't bury my loved ones? So that was my major red flag. You know what I mean? And if you guys can't see that, you know what I mean, I hope that you pray and that the Lord one day will reveal it to you because hopefully it don't come to you like how it came to me. But I hope y'all do get out of there. That's not a good place. If you can, if you're able to, I would suggest that you look at certain things like look on the internet on how to see if there's a group. How can you see if it's a cult or not? Pretty much, you'll start to see when it comes to cults, you'll see a lot of similarities of things that they do, whether it's fear tactics or just confusion in itself. You know what I mean? So that's the best I got to say.
Yeah, man. And
Heavy.
for me,
I'll let. Yeah, I'll give you the last word. Go ahead.
yeah. So for me, y'all motherfuckers want to be hard headed. Continue to be fucking hard headed. That's what I'm gonna tell you. You know what I'm saying? I'm
This
sorry
is
to say
true.
it, but some of the motherfuckers that are in there are fucking hard headed. They know it, either been in on it and don't say nothing, and they still want to be there. For those people, whatever, they're already sucked in. There's nothing you can do about it. For me, I'm not gonna tell you to leave. That was one thing that really pissed me the fuck off about this place. That the same people that I gave a fucking roof and shelter over their fucking head wind up being the same ones calling me fucking evil when I mentally, faithfully, or I got weak of faith or whatever you want to call it. You decide to fucking call me evil, poke fun at me. So for you guys, and you still there, fuck you. You know what I mean? I don't lose sleep. I've healed and I moved on. For my family that's still in there, I still love you. You want to be in there, be in there. I ain't gonna tell you to leave. Figure that shit out for yourself, like I did. I knew nothing. Nobody that could tell me shit. I was gonna do what the fuck I wanted to do. So I can relate. So if you want to stay in there, stay in there. I ain't gonna tell you to leave. Do what the fuck you want to do. I'm too busy, living my life. So I wanted to put the stamp on this for me. You know what I mean? Clear up some things and remind people that if you're still there, that this place is not what it's up to be. You know, the holiest of the holiest is the evilest of the evilest. And, I witnessed it firsthand. People got away with shit. I personally got away with shit, you know,
Yeah.
but I was just, man, when I got my little rank, whatever, everybody could vouch for me, man. I've always been real. You know what I mean? We get drunk together. You could crash at my house, homie. You know what I mean? Or and that's one thing I do miss. I want to end it like this.
Yeah.
There, since I've been out the church, there's maybe not even one or two people that I can say that while I was in the church, at any given time I can call somebody and somebody was going to be there for me. The brotherly love that we had in that place, I miss. The good memories that I shared with a lot of brothers in there that are still in there, still love you, bro. You know what I mean? Just, you know, if it's working for you, good. I'm good. And with that, I'd like to say shalom.
Man. Yo, thank you, brothers, man. Everybody for coming on. This has been really good. Like, you don't understand. I mean, well, I don't understand either. We don't know what kind of damage this is gonna do. I think this is really good. This is really good. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
I'm really feeling it right now. Just so you know. And damn, yo, I appreciate you guys, man, and everybody that came on and said, you know, hi and said their peace and blessings and showed me support. Man, give the support to these guys right here. They didn't have to come on my channel, my measly little channel, and do the things they did, but they felt it was important, and I think that it was important enough to have them speak their piece because their testimonies are very important to me, and I hope that you guys feel the same out there. And I thank you guys, man. Thank you very much. I love you guys, man. Hopefully we'll still keep in touch and we'll talk again.
Oh Lord, don't do it, man. Lord,
I love you.
Shalom, brothers. I love you guys. All right, brothers.
All right, my brother.
All right, y'all.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.